Yo, welcome to the D&D, the Drink and Drown podcast. I am one of two hosts, Tim and Nicholas, aka Mr. Terrible, aka TNT.
And it's your boy, Everon Williams, aka Big Easy. You don't know what going.
And this is the Unapologetic podcast with good intentions. Make sure to hit us up on our socials, which will be located below. Enjoy. Hey everyone, it's me again. And everyone's probably quiet a bit, but he's here. Say hi, everyone.
Present, please.
So how was your week?
This week wasn't too bad. You know, it was basically on the lines of uneventful again, but you know, give thanks you have life. I didn't really do much. Went to see the madam yesterday, you know. But that's about it for the week. How about you?
Oh yeah, this week I thought I was gonna die.
From what?
Yeah, from not COVID, but just the migraine. Because I've only had up until Tuesday of last week, I've only had 3 migraines, and one was in like fifth form when I had to do like 60 and stuff. This is exactly what happened. I was in class and the teacher was saying some stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, I should know these things, blah blah blah. You need to cover the syllabus because this will be coming on the CXC exams, you know, examinations for, you know, the Caribbean on a whole."
Yeah.
Just cool. Anyways, right? So I'm there, and in my head, I'm just like, man, I really should have known these things, you know? I haven't really been paying up much attention to what's going on. So I said, you know what? I think I'm putting to work. I'm gonna listen to what she's saying, revise, do everything so I can be at top of my game. Cause 6 is in like a couple months. So I don't have time to waste. So I said, bet. So I'm paying attention in class, and I'm just like, oh, how's that? So I said, whatever. And I kept listening, and I kept reading, I kept studying, and I'm like, I feel weird. So now I'm getting people's attention, like, yo, I'm Tim. I'm just like, I don't know, I just have this weird pain in my head. You have a headache? Nah, it's not a headache. I had one of those before. Right? And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm there, and I'm just like, no, I'm feeling it right in my temple. She's like, that's not like a migraine. A migraine? It's like, yeah, I was like, I don't get those. I don't think so. And then they watch me in amazement, like, you've never had a migraine. I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't think this is a migraine. And now I'm feeling pain like if somebody slamming a nail into my head, right? And I'm there, and I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. And I said, yo, take some Advil. I'm like, I don't take pills for nothing. I probably just need to sleep this off.
Antigua boy.
Yeah.
West Indian.
That was the first time I got a migraine. The second time, well, the other 2 times were because I was trying to cook and I made the food extra salty. And yeah.
Guess I have a stroke.
Yeah. So I was surprised. So on Tuesday I got the migraine, and it happened in the afternoon when I got home, and it was killing me, and I took Tylenol, and I thought that was it. And then Wednesday afternoon it came back worse. I was like, shit. So I said, you know, I don't want to take no more pills. I'm gonna sleep it off. And then I woke up the next morning on the Thursday with the migraine. I just mean, yo, what the hell? It just keep getting worse.
Sounds
right?
like I pay rent now. I'm here to stay.
Right? I'm just like, damn, who invited this guy? Right? So I'm there and I'm going to work, and I work in a very noisy environment. So it's like there's light flashing right before my eyes. I'm focusing on things right before my eyes. There's grinding noise of steel falling all day for 10 hours.
Everything
right?
to trigger that.
And I'm just there every minute. I'm just like, God. And there's nobody to see my pain because in my workspace it's just me. So I'm over there just trying not to waste the day, because clearly there's 2 waste days on my belt. I'm not trying to make it a third. And yeah. And the Friday I got the day off, and it killed me until I had some food, some nice hot food. Turns out the migraine was just hungry. I just needed to eat. I wasn't eating because I only eat breakfast and I only eat lunch. And when I come home from work, I just wash my skin and relax and go to sleep. I go to sleep at 10:30 every night, and I wake up at 5 in the morning. Don't waste no time. I'm not gonna be in bed at 5:01. I'm already out. Cause soon as the alarm go off, I'm jumping out of bed. I'm in the shower. That's how it is.
So it just boop boop boop.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you powerful boy.
Cause I know if I stay in the bed and be like, nah, I'm gonna stay there.
I contemplate way too much for that. Migraines, I don't usually get migraines. I just usually have like headaches, and those usually come when I don't drink water. If I don't drink water for like maybe a couple hours, like headache. But it's not like a throbbing, pounding or nothing. It's just like my head feels sore type of thing. So I don't know. With migraines are just like, because I know like Nikki gets migraines too, right? And I'm like, I don't know where these migraines be coming from. Like that's why I know migraines are always caused by something, but what is that something? I feel like nobody knows. Because when you go to doctor, they just like, oh yeah, they always give you suggestions, but they never know for sure. So it's like, oh yeah, yeah, maybe this is the, try eating whatever, and then I'll take these pills for painkillers. But then, it's just a matter of time until you realize that, these painkillers just killing the pain, but you're still having a migraine. So you don't solve the problem. But you didn't get it back since you kind of up your eating game.
Nah.
Okay, well, I guess it's safe to assume that's what it was.
Bro, I almost paid $100 to go to a walking clinic for them to tell me to eat some food. Because when I called them, they was like, "Oh, I don't think you should come in because like you have a headache. That's one of the symptoms of like COVID-19."
COVID.
And I was just like, okay. And then I had some food. I was just like, whoa, look, I almost just stole $100 for food. I could have spent that on food. Man, anyways, can't even say nothing. I could have probably went and she's like, you know what? Besides that migraine, you have something going on. And I'm like, what is that? I don't know. It could have been like, I can't, not gonna call out myself. I have big ass eyes. Anyways, let's move on. Life is good. I'm alive.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
So,
That's good. That's all good. How's your parents, man?
actually, to be honest, I don't know. My thing is, if I don't hear any bad news, I can assume all is well. That's it. That's it. I haven't talked to
Fair.
mom in a bit though.
I mean, that's one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Antigua kind of bugging right now with like the curfews and stuff. I don't know.
I like talking to family and friends and people from back home if I don't have nothing to update them with. So if my life stayed the same from the last time you talked to me, I have nothing new to tell you. It's the same. I follow a routine.
Oh, so when you call.
Yeah. So when I call, it's more of a, oh hey, you know what's going on? I catch up, see what's been up with them, what they want, if I can help out anyway, and then I let them know what's going on. And after I already share what's going on with my life and I know what's going on with their life, they will just jump into some spontaneous talking and conversation and laugh and tell jokes about whatever, right? But I don't want to just have one of those moments where you're just like dilly dallying and you're just like, well, so how's life? Oh, you know, just in the kitchen. Oh, okay, nice. Well, nothing happened to me. And then they have those weird pausing moments where you're just fishing for things to say until you find one. I want it to be more smooth, So that's me.
See, for me, my parents have chat, so it's never necessary. I can go quiet for like maybe 10 minutes of the call, and I tell you, the person on the other end of the line is going to be chatting, especially if that person's daddy. Daddy will just start telling some story and then say boom, 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 boom. Next thing, how we're gone. I mean, it's not a thing, and this man's still going. He just, but they're just happy to talk to me, check. So in that sense, that's why I be on the phone with them like every day or every other day. Just because we're just so always in each other's face that now we're away. It's just like, damn, I kind of miss your face. Yeah, so it's like one of them. Just like I can't be physically there, but I can grace you with conversation. So we can go with that. Yeah,
I see.
Once they're doing good, 'cause, your parents are real chill. Like my parents are some real nice people.
Yeah, they chill, man. But yeah, I was listening to this podcast on Wednesday by like Extra Gravy. Them guys pretty sick. And yeah, Gravy Gang. And they were talking about religion and stuff, and they had this pastor came in and he was telling them about things, and I was listening to them.
Like a guest?
Yeah, he was like a guest.
And
because I think he owns like a radio station, and they were wondering like, if you're like a minister or a pastor or whatever in the church, how can you play such secular music and stuff like that? So he's like, separate. He knows that this is his job, but he still, everybody knows what he's about, and he still, any chance he gets, try to spread the word. But that's his job, and he's not gonna be out here saying, yeah, play some music about sucking dicks and fucking. Nah, he not running them kind of tunes. So it's more of a, this is the vibe, this is the art and the craft and stuff like that. Ooh,
Oh,
sorry about
okay.
that, guys.
So all good, man. So he looks at it like from the creative aspect. Like he's not really focusing on, trying to highlight the vulgarness or whatever. He's just saying, yo, I'm a pastor, but I'm still human. Type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, a lot of people don't realize like that these people are literally just people at the end of the day, Like people like a pastor, If I was to go and do something and a pastor did the same thing, they could look at the pastor crazy and me normal. For what reason? The same inclinations I have are the same ones he have. The same willpower I have is the same willpower he have. So if I can
facts.
fall, he can definitely fall too, right? So I don't know why we always putting these people on the pedestal just because they have a responsibility, Because we need to accept that, as much responsibility I have, this person is still a human being at the end of the day.
Bro,
And I think once we start thinking like that, that's when we can be more accepting of other people. And we don't have this whole clash of religion and people being hypocrites and all the rah-rah talk that stay going on, right?
bro, like if you're checking out, everybody think Jesus was perfect. And yes, he was a perfect human being, but this man still had bare antics. Right? This man was a little disrespectful to people at times. This man lost his temper. Like this man was an average Joe. He just didn't sin. I think I was telling somebody this story the other day that like God really out the pocket sometimes. Cause I remember his old lady came, the whole community get invited to this wedding,
Mm.
and everybody like vibing up and drinking and getting drunk, and the king was like, "Oh my goodness, guess what, guys? Y'all drank off all the booze at the bar, right? We don't have no money." But I was like, and Mary was just like, "Yo, my son have this sick party trick, right? You don't even want to know." So she go put up to his son and say, "Hey Jesus, hey, you want to do your mother a favor?" And he's just like, "What's up, ma?" And he and his goons then, cause he always rock with his disciples, all 12 of
Yeah.
them deep, right? So all of them just chilling on the curb, just laughing, eating bread, drinking wine, eating fish. She's like, I don't want to really disturb with you and your friends, but can you can you get us some more booze? And he's just like, woman, I know you see me chilling. Don't disturb me. It's not yet my time, right? So in my head, I'm saying, yo, Jesus out the pocket, because if I
But
told my moms, yo, don't disturb me right now. It's
yeah,
not yet
getting
my
run
time.
up a mango
Bro,
tree.
I'm getting hands, okay?
Proper assing.
I can't this bro, if Jesus' mother was Caribbean, he would have get his ass beat, right? And then he would have been like, yo, forgive me, father. you know?
Clearly I've done something wrong.
Clearly. So now Jesus was a little bit disrespectful. You remember that one time man was selling some goose and some pheasants and sheep and so in church, and Jesus like,
Oh, in the
partners,
temple.
what
Man
is
said,
a marketplace?
yeah,
And the boy
come with-"
started flipping tables over with beer money, scattering the
right.
money and stuff. And he didn't even stop there. The boy was losing his shit. The man trip out now. And the boy go
Oh,
and grab a whip and
I'm
start beating
strong.
man. Bro, Jesus was a G. Okay?
Bro, VG. And literally all that's just to show he was human. Literally. Bro, you see, even the story of David, bro. David was a man that God said, yo, this man real. This is a genuine, like, this is one of my genuine kids. Like, I know I can trust in this man. This man is just a living, his heart is pure, all them things, right?
Mm.
And that's literally how the Bible portrays King David until the point where he gets to when he was out on his veranda and the boy looked down from his kingdom and saw Bathsheba bathing.
Hey,
And when the boy see Bathsheba bathe, the boy said, "Ah, she look
sexy.
real good now."
Phew.
And the boy up there like, damn. The boy stand up there and contemplate and he looked and he lost it. He lost it and lost it and lost it until the boy say, you know what? I know my girl, her husband, he gone out to war, right? So what me gonna do? Me go down there, I'm gonna just pay she like a visit. And two twos, the boy go down there, make her like a visit and breed off the girl, right?
Check.
Find out the girl pregnant. And was like, damn, I slipped, I messed up. And before the man was like, you know what? Let me just confess my sins. The boy said, "Tar, no, this fuck up too real." You check? So the man had to literally go and was like, all right, let's devise this plan. And we calling back her husband and be like, hey, you're doing so good out there. War. I decided to give you and just you, not anybody else, not all the other brothers fighting, but just you. some time off. So you can, go home, turn it up with your wife, get it on, I think you deserve it. And then my boy was like, okay, I appreciate the gesture, King, but like all my brothers are fully out there. I can't just come back home and just deal, just go back and just fit back into life and all my brethren out there like losing their lives and everything. I can't do that. He don't sit well with him. So it turns out Uriah never went and dealt with his wife. I don't know if he went and visited her, but the man never. The plan didn't work. In a nutshell.
Check
So
when
now
she
David said,
when she was supposed to like lie down and take on David's plan. No, Uriah was there like, man, I just train mode, man, train mode. So he's there punching up the clit, and she's like,
beast
just
mode.
stick it in, just stick it. And she's like, nah, I just need to
Nah.
train. My boy's out there, I can't. And she's like, stop boxing me up, dog. He's like, yo, this is all on my mind.
Like literally just being human. And everybody was literally just being human. And Uriah did not sleep with his wife, so David's plan failed again. Right, the cover plan failed. So he's like, all right, well, this gonna be problematic. So the man say, you know what, Uriah, all right, you go back out, and the man send orders for Uriah to be on the front line, just so that the chances of him not coming back home are very high. And lo and behold, his plan finally worked. And my boy went, and my boy put him in the front line. Uriah dead. And the boy said, all right, well, since you're out the picture, let me go scoop up my new thing, Bathsheba, and the boy wife that. Right? You wife that. And literally people look at that and focus. Mind you, the Bible talks greatness about David, no, right? But people
his
will read
one mess up.
everything and focus on his one mess up and have the worst to say about David. Why? Bro, it literally shows that as God spoke greatness about David before and after he messed up, right? Literally, it showed like, yo, regardless of how this man acted, the things he did, this man kept it pure. This man knew his roots. He knew he knew how to bring it back home and to atone, and his heart was pure. And people look at that and just like, yo, I don't care about all the good stuff. He did this thing, so David is trash now. And we always focus on that negativity, and I don't see the need for it. You could tell me now, David, you see all the greatness David do, and you could throw it out the window because he did one thing,
bro.
And that one thing just literally showed, literally the message behind that whole story is no matter who you are, no matter what you do, you are capable of doing great things, and I'm not going to hold the wrong you do against you.
Check, we all coherently started out flawed. We born in sin.
Yeah. And we're going to stay flawed. It's our willingness to, be pure is what is that's our ticket into heaven.
Bro, because I was also telling somebody the other day, I'm just like, yeah, I really think God is out here sexy. God love the ugly now. Because if God was a handsome, rich prince, right? Sexy to the bone, nobody will listen to him. Because he too privileged. So the man had to grow up in the gutters.
Yeah,
learn the struggle, not too pretty. The man probably maga at 33 before he died.
Check. The boy born in a donkey bowl now.
Bro, his parents and them couldn't afford a decent hotel to go stay in when they went to, what it was, Jerusalem or something for the Passover. Nah. Or was it Christmas?
What are you talking about? When he born or?
Yeah, no, just when he born. Like, I'm just saying like how poor he was. Right?
Oh yeah, they went, yeah. And
yeah,
man had to be born in a freaking stable.
The fact that all the low-end hotels and stuff and Airbnb spots and inns were like full is all the poor people them snag all them. So they couldn't even afford the high-end one. So you know what she did? She had to go to a stable, a barn to have Jesus.
Boss, you ever smell goat piss? You ever smell goat pen?
Man, rank.
Bro, you telling me our King of Kings and Lord of Lords that we put so high on the pedestal because he deserves to be there was born in that type of situation, right? That don't show like how down to earth about literally me and you we born in a hospital with the luxuries of whatever. Look at Jesus. This man came from below us.
And Mary strong boy.
You check? Maybe talk about that. Like the whole Mary and Joseph story.
Bro, I mean, how Joseph even put up with that? Boy,
it's like that's the thing.
Me have a love she boy because she used to drag me on with this man. Who named God?
Like, how strong for you your faith has to be grounded for you to just accept that. Because I don't think I could. Even as much sense I could possibly try making out of it, I don't think I could go with it.
Bro, imagine this, the Virgin Mary. And you're like, oh, girl, you're a virgin? Ah, I like you, right? And then like a couple weeks later, she's like, yo, I haven't bleed on this bloody rag yet, no. And she's like, you sure? Like, yeah, look at it, it's clean. I washed it out like, I don't know, a couple months ago and it's still clean. And you're like, weird.
Hmm.
Let's go see one of them witch doctors or physicians. It's like, nah. For some reason I feel like I'm pregnant. And he's like, okay, let me tell you something, right? Impossible. And she's like, no, I had in a dream this one time, this angel told me I would have the Son of God. And he's just like, okay, all right, I hear you. And then, bam, 9 months later, the man give birth to a kid. And he, in a whole moment, had to be like, yo, she cheated on me, boss. She cheating on me. Like,
Must be.
must be. Even when the angels came and talked to him and said, hey, yo, don't lose your shit. That's actually God's, kid. Bro, I feel like that's where a bunch of other fictional stories came from. Like the Bible. I feel like the Bible was like the OG book that every fictional character came from.
Oh, like yeah, like creativity spun from the Bible.
It had to. Because now there's a God coming on having a child with a mortal. That's Zeus and them backstory.
Yeah, that's
They
our
had
Greek
mans
mythology.
coming back from the dead, zombies, immortality. They had mans with look, they had fire chariots. They had people walking on water, demons and legions.
Yeah.
Bro, the Bible's mad creative, dog. I feel like it's literally the father of like creativity.
It is father everything, bro. But
yeah.
yeah, but literally, we're literally just human at the end of the day, and people just need to stop looking at each other higher than like as a higher being. We are on the same level, bro, and stop judging. Why are we so judgy? Why are we so judgy? For what reason? What do we get out of being judgy at the end of the day? You sure? Like if we ain't there to uplift, to help, to support, all them stuff, like what's the point? And you're out there pointing out other people's flaws for what? What were your flaws?
Bro, I know my flaw. I think my flaw is my creativity, dog. Like creativity for me, like not creativity. I said, is that creativity?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Okay, sorry guys. Wow, my brain's doing things. Curiosity. That's what it is. Like curiosity for me is like the father of sin. I believe curiosity is the father of sin. Because it took what her name? Eve. Eve had to be curious enough to see a talking snake and say, all right, let's do what you have to say. Right? I feel like it's really curiosity is what brought us to where we are today.
I never looked at it that way, but
yeah,
that's definitely it. Like
has
I
to
feel
be
like temptation, the whole idea of temptation is curiosity.
Yeah, it has to be. And like growing up as a kid, like I feel like the reason why I even have this curious side of me is because of how my parents raised me. Because like growing up as a kid, I never really like, okay, my dad was really a good role model for like how a father should be and what a Christian, should be in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
And when I look back at like my childhood and stuff, my dad was always like reading his dictionary and reading one or his two Bibles because they come in different versions or something, right? And he would always into the news. And when he's not making my mom's laugh and stuff like that, he just outside. Oh, like when he's not making my mom laugh or he's not working, he'll be outside in nature, just just vibing, just enjoying,
relaxing, cool out,
shit. It's just cooling out, right?
Get some breeze, yeah.
And then as a curious kid growing up, he made me do some dumb shit, like any dumb shit I wanted, once it wasn't gonna like, kill me or something. Like he'll always give me the heads up about what the risks are and the consequences, and then he'll enforce those consequences. Especially if he said don't do it, and I said no, I'm doing it. He'll let me do it, and then when I don't do it, he's like, all right, come for your licks. Right? So he always allowed me to do some shit and then fail. And then, yeah.
So that reinforced the lesson. You experienced that first. Nobody have to tell you. Again, you know because you experienced it. Like ain't nobody opinion is gonna alter what you know at this point because you just fully seen it with your own eyes.
Check.
That's so like way to raise the kids.
Bro, it's sick, right? Because I'm looking back and I'm like, yo, this man was really about it, right? But I wasn't even paying attention until like I look back at it, right? So he was always there open for like all my questions and answers and so it was always like anything that popped into my brain, any question, any random word that pops up, he always had the answer right away, right? And then like if he didn't have the answer, he would tell me, yo, hold on. And then he'll go and do his research and then he'll come back and tell me. And if he did his research and he come back, he don't know. He said, "Yeah, honestly, I don't know. That's a good question, right?" And then sometimes, so like I hear him ask other people, like, "Hey, listen, because Tim asked me this question, but I didn't have an answer." And then they would tell him an answer, but he wouldn't come back and tell me.
Hey, you have to make sure the answer that makes sense
Yeah.
before you divert to. Yeah.
Right? So I'm just like, bro, so this man was always like keeping ahead of me, like reading up and doing all these things. So when I had a question or answer, he could answer them. It's like, so I just rated. So he made me realize that like a bunch of things, like no one ever has all the answers. And I should always ask if I don't know or if I need to understand, you know? And he always let me know that, yo, you can't fully believe anything anybody say unless you do your own research. You know?
Yeah.
And then what other sudden so that he like that I really get from it? It's how can I say it? He told me that I have to be open mind and always listen and don't be quick to judge and so.
Yeah.
Cause that's what I really pick up on, so now as my dad grew up, like he's a listener. And
Yeah.
hear everything that you have to say.
He's not quick to ignorance because he not gonna jump on me like, no. You go and hear exactly what you have to say. Break it down and he gonna make sure he understand what you're saying before he even move off from that point.
Jack. So it's like, so as growing up like that, it made me as a kid a little rough to kind of raise. Because if it didn't make sense to me, I'm not doing it. You have to bring some logic, you have to set your rules, you have to bring some facts, and those are the only thing that could really get me to do anything. You check? So I would always be like using the Bible against them to get what I want. So I'd be all like, yo, God gave me the freedom of choice, and you want to take that from me? What makes you better than God? Right? Or, you know, I'd have been all like, yo, where in the Bible did God say that? Because the Bible is your fundamental, so show me.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's enough to get a box now. That's enough to catch a box now. But I feel because of how your dad is, he because that's how he kind of, you know, put it to you same way. Like the same fundamental way, like, you know, if you don't know, you have to research so you can come with the answer with support. You check. So because maybe in that moment, he never had the support for whatever you push, the man can't go against his own, you know, his own strategy.
So when I read the Bible, I'm always looking for a loophole so I can go through life, right? So I'm reading and they tell me stories. I grew up in church hearing the stories, and I'm just like, bro, if God can do that, why can't I? He was perfect. I'm just trying to be perfect. So when God disrespect his mother, you know what gives me the inclination to want to but never do it? The Bible. Because I know even if I disrespect him, I'm like, oh yeah, that's God. You're not God. Bam, blows. You know, there's only so much I can do, right? But that's how we always would. But then they would always hit you with them lines like, oh yeah, you know, I brought you into this world, or you know, on your they would like use the Bible too. And then they'll be like, on your parents and spin out the rod, and this is my house, my rules. And I'm just like, well, those make sense logically.
Because you know, like what's one of the things I backed that up to? I think you had used it the other night where you were talking about. I mean, in the context it was being used, as far as the story went, it was give Caesar what is Caesar's type of thing. You said it the other night.
Oh yeah.
Give Caesar what is his.
Me and everyone had this big argument about tithes because I'm not getting into it again. But the gist of the story is I was telling him I was gonna give my time as tithe instead of my 10% of my income. He's just like, bro, you can't do it. And I was just like, all right. I heard everything he had to say and everything. He heard everything I had to say, and we came to like a whole conclusion. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that could be beef amongst us. But yeah, like it's basically saying what is Caesar's, give to Caesar, right? And it's not necessarily just saying, hey, confide in, you know, do what Caesar tell you to do just because he said to do it. He's saying that in the sense of, hey, this is Caesar house, this is Caesar country. You live in Caesar country. If this is the rules of the land, this is what you need to follow. In addition to my rules. If my rules and his rules clashing, then definitely you go have to, you know. So if Caesar telling you to go and murder innocent people, and you fully know that's against the fundamental laws you believe in, then cut that out. That ain't to go, right? But if Caesar say that curfew starts at 6 o'clock and end at 6 o'clock, that's what the rule is. So that's what you need to follow, you check. So in the sense where you were disrespecting your parents in that way, I feel like a good counter argument, if your parents was to pull it, was to be like, nah, my house, my rules, and this is what Caesar, God said, you know? and pull that line to bring it into context because I feel like that's like one of those texts that they use to justify that kind of stuff, man.
No,
It
man.
makes sense though, because you don't want to have trouble with the state.
True.
And when you're a kid, the state of your house, your parents' house, you live around for them the state. So you can't
Yes, I
spread the
have to
gospel,
abide.
exactly, man.
Right? So I always look back at it and just like, yo, my parents really did an alright job in raising me, right? And how I turn on and the reason for my curiosity, I feel like that's where it stemmed from. And when I look back at it, like all the licks that I got, dog, I remember every single punishment and blows that I got. And I can't hear a good conscience lie to anybody and say I don't deserve none of them because everyone I deserved.
Yep.
Right? I knew what I was doing and I did it anyways. Bro, I would weigh out the cons. Do I come out the house when they tell me not to and stay out until 12 when I know I'm supposed to be back at 8? What am I going to do? I'm going to have fun and then I'm going to get licks. Or I could stay inside and be bored. And then sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I could take licks today. So
Yeah.
then I break the rules. I go up the road, stay until 12 because I know tomorrow I'm not coming out the house. So enjoy yourself to the fullest.
Yeah.
And then come back and get your blows and your punishment.
Like,
And
I didn't feel like going out tomorrow
who them blows not gonna bother me now because I enjoyed
You check.
myself.
That's the
I'm already
payment.
tired. I don't need to go back outside tomorrow.
Check. It's pay the price. So it's literally you have to give up. You give and take.
It's a give and take, dog.
You give
So-
up some ass for technical blow.
So
You have to
whenever
keep on one
I
side,
got
yeah.
blows, I deserve them.
Same.
You know?
I don't think I ever got. Actually, no. I never got like blows out of a situation where at least my parents didn't think I was supposed to get blown. If I ever got blown when I wasn't supposed to, it's because they perceived the situation wrong and acted too quick before they really got the full scope. You check? But it was never like they come home angry one day and I'ma just do something that's not wrong, but it annoyed them, and then they just spaz for me. No, it's literally I went and I took crayons and I drew on the wall, fully knowing walls are not to be drawn upon.
See?
Fully knowing that my parents have to walk by this wall.
Oh, I
Fully
got
knowing
away
that when
some
they
of
walk
those.
past this wall, they gonna bang me. No, me never went on. It was literally because there's literally do's and don'ts. You don't freaking write on the wall because you have to paint the wall to like that's money.
You see, my parents let me do them kind of shit in my bedroom.
Mm.
So if I drew on the wall or paint, they're like, "What you do that for? Why?
Mm.
I was like, I don't know. I can't. It's my walls. You go buy paint, no?" And then she just like, bro, I have writing and stuff on my bathroom door and bedroom back home. That I look back, I'm just like, oh, this is gross. Who the hell did it? I was like, it's me.
Who are you?
I did not painting it over. So I'm just like, my mistakes just haunting me.
Yep.
I
But,
grew up
like, at the
now.
same time, that's memories too.
It's like I grew up now having friends come over and they seen them nastiness on the wall. And they're like, yo, what's that? And in my head, I'm just like, I only have $3 for bus money, I can't buy paint. Nah,
Emergency money. Like, it's
you
not
check
the
emergency money.
top. Cut it.
Nah, but there's a bunch of times too where I thought I was gonna get like blows and stuff, but then they just like, yo, just let me talk to you real quick. And they talk to me, and in my head, I'm just like, man, I still sometimes I think that the blows are gonna come after the talk, but it's just the talk,
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
genuinely just like, bro, I don't understand. Listen here, and they sit down and talk to me, and then it's the talks that really hurt, no, because you realize they like the blows in them not working. How can I reach this kid?
You check. You stressed them so much they had to put away the anger that you created. Like that takes more. It's like if they reacted in anger, that's a given. That they're just being human. You check. But if they had to put it away and then come back later and reassess and like, come on, let's have a word. You know, they had to put it to you that way, and you talking to them, and you fully know how much it pissed them off originally. You know, you really messed up.
You check?
That's
So
how you
as a
know.
kid, I never wanted to like disappoint my parents because I couldn't afford people to be all like, them they can't manage their household, boy. Look at them.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
raise
yeah.
a bad kid. I didn't want to buy thing that my parents feel because they really did put in a work.
They
you know?
did what they had to, yeah.
So I just had to behave and live to an extent where I could still enjoy myself and cause trouble, but not too
But-
much trouble that was out the bounds of, oh my goodness, Daphne and them failed. Teddy
Yeah,
them
we reflect
failed.
back on them. Yeah, and then I feel because we live in Antigua, it's just so small. Everybody
It's
knows.
so small.
Everybody knows. If they don't know of you, they know somebody who know of you. So literally, if let's say your name was to come up anywhere and you bring it up, somebody in that circle gonna know you and has something to say. You check?
Bro,
And the story get end up just dating, but and one person get here, somebody's get here. Next thing you know, your parents are just failures.
bro,
But
I
or
be
some of you
minding
did.
my business and Antigua just walking on the street, me and my friends be cussing, I be laughing, and I hear, your Teddy son? And I'm there now, I'm confused, cause I'm like, yo, who this up? And how they know my father, right? And I'm there just looking at
Yes.
this person like, have I ever seen them
How
in
they
my
know to
life
distinguish
before?
you
And they looking at my
in
face
this
in
world.
a crowd of faces and say, that's a Teddy son. Or, you know, remember me? Blah, 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 blah. No. If I was 5, I do not remember you. If I was 10,
No, who you?
I don't remember you. If you've been to my church, my house, my village, and you've seen me once, I don't know you. I don't know you.
I never.
But the fact that they can look at your face and then say,
Same
you
thing,
look like a
boss.
Nicholas, or you look like a Williams or a Lewis or something. I don't know how they do it.
You check
But that's
instantly, bro, and it's like they know you on a deeper level than you even expect to. It's like they pull up on you like, oh, and then I ask you about people that like, I'm like, bro, this don't make no sense, and that's why I feel like I definitely can't do nothing in Antigua. Period. Like the day, but like Carnival, for example, I want to go Carnival and jump up and wink up on this time, but I can't do that. That's exactly what you said is gonna happen. So I'm like, I'm every picnic daddy, and I veg world son daddy. You check, and everybody just have somebody to connect me. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm staying home. So yeah, I be wanting to go to things like Carnival and do all that stuff, and like, just because not that I want this to be my lifestyle. It's like, you just want to try something, but it's not in accordance with what you're believing, whatever. But you want to try it out. I can't here in Canada. I can go to maybe Caribana and try that out in peace, and that just be my experience, right? It stays right there. It's
mm,
something in my book. But if I was to go to Carnival in Antigua, that me going to Carnival gonna be in other people's book too. Like literally, you could be in the person that maybe was doing prayer meeting with my dad. That they saw me when we were going on Market Street, and wait, that's not brother William's son, you
and you
know.
want me tell you
And
what I don't
it's just
understand? It's like I could say, well, I never had an inclination to really want to go and celebrate Don Carnival now. But this year I feeling the vibe. Ahsoka, that 2020, that 2015 Private Ryan really hitting in 2021, right? And I decide, yeah, I'm gonna show up and show out.
you
And
check,
then I see somebody, Timon, why you doing carnival? Don't Tim, what you doing at carnival?
you check.
I don't want to go church next week. And you say, can't believe you had picnic down the tongue. What you do down the
But that's
tongue?
exactly the one do too. That's the thing. It's like they use that like ammunition. I'm like, bro, why do you even care?
Yeah, mind your business.
Like, me, like, can't live your life. That's why when people be home and they want to just get away, I get it. I totally get it. But like, it's either you get away, or you get comfortable living in the way you're living, where you're like kind of living not just for yourself, but you're living for other people in that sense, because just how society is, or you just live and you don't care. And I don't want to be the one that lives and don't care, because I care. I definitely care about the image that I'm setting for my parents, because I know they set me up and did everything that they did out of love to, make me be who I am. And it'll be like just, even though it's my life, I don't want to just be the worst representation of them, because they don't deserve that. They really don't. You check? But like, people make it so hard because like I just want to live my life, but like, why you watching me?
Right?
So it's frustrating. That's yeah. So we either have the option to like not care, or and just do what we want, or care and just live like more reserved. You check?
See? So that parents do make the world a safer place now, because like I think about like all the people who only have like a mother, or some people only have a father in their life. Not saying
Yeah,
that their parents died or something, they're just not in their life
yeah,
like they
whatever
should,
the case is. Yeah,
right? And some of them turn out bad and some of them turn out decent. The majority of them turn out good, right? Parents are really some of the things that keep certain kids in check now. Because if I didn't have a dad, I probably would have been like, yo, a menace to society.
yep.
If I didn't have a mom, I'd have probably been a tough youth. and a menace to
Cold.
society.
Yeah, just
Like
cold, no emotion. Yeah.
right now,
Eh,
I'm a decent kid, but my brain be going off. Because if I ever was in a place where I had power over somebody, I
mhm.
am going to abuse it, and for sure, I'm gonna be a criminal. If I was a police, I'd have been a corrupt cop. If I had superpowers, I'd have been the first supervillain. That's just what it is.
Or you would have been a superhero. Like what's that
No,
show? Like the boys.
no, no.
You'd have
I'm
been
gonna be a super villain because I'm gonna be the first person to rob the banks then before anybody's like, what just happened? I don't know. I think somebody has superpowers, right? I want to be the first person to use his powers and then let everybody's like, oh shit, so we can show off our powers. Because after I finish commit 2 crimes and I'm rich, I could stop. Because first off, it's like I'm catching them by surprise. Oh my
and then become a good
goodness.
guy or stick with the crime.
If I'll be a good guy, no. So yeah, I would be a good guy afterwards. So I'll be the first to jump on the scene and commit a crime, right? And everybody gonna be so shocked and surprised, and they gonna be like, "Oh my goodness!"
Mm.
So they didn't see it coming. So at that point, I'm already rich, right? Then my second attempt is to see how good they are at trying to catch me. They're gonna fail because they're still not ready. And if I see how close they are, I'll be like, okay. By the next time they're gonna catch me. And maybe somebody else with powers out there saying, ooh, I want to be the one to catch him.
Mm.
So I'm never gonna give him that chance. So I'm gonna commit 2 decent crimes.
I
I
might
got
go say,
beer bank. And then I'm gonna stop. And then when he come on the scene
call it
saying, I'm
quits.
a new superhero, blah, I must say, no, you're not. You're the criminal, and I'm here to stop you. I just turned the tides for no reason. Like I could have just stayed silent. No, I could have just stayed silent. But when he pull up on the scene, I'm like, yo, this guy, all of a sudden, the only person in the world with superpowers, talking about he's the hero and trying to stop the bad guy. Please. And I'm gonna put him away. Yeah, I can't have powers, dog. I'm abuse it. I guess it's my nature. I'm a bad guy by nature. Haha.
You're something. I don't know what it is because yeah, I remember the story Timon told last week. Was it last week when he was driving to work? Oh, the only power that Timon had in that situation is that he was a car ahead of the person behind of him. That's all the power Timon needed to try and mess up the man whole morning going to work. That's literally all the power Timon needed. Just one car space ahead. You can't get Timon nothing in this life, nothing in this world.
But I'm a nice guy,
Straight up,
guys.
man.
I'm a nice guy. Like seriously, I'm a nice guy. Just don't give me power. Bro, if I turn into a billionaire and I realize I can't put a dent in my money,
Anytime I see
bro.
Timon with power, I'm gonna plug you out. That's it.
Bro, just let me tap into some money. Cause if I'm start making Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates money and I realize, bro, I'm spending beer bank and it's not even dent in my account. I am a super villain. I am the Batman and Tony Starks of villainy. That's what it is.
You literally can do whatever you want.
Bro, I'ma set up a bunch of dummy like what you call it? I don't want to call it henchmen. They're gonna be my henchmen. But like I want them to always look like they're the ones in charge. So I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna give you beer guap, create chaos. And I'm gonna get this other one. And I'm gonna make sure everything I do points to one of them. So they can keep saying, yo, he's the mastermind. No, he's the mastermind. Not knowing that the guy underneath them is the mastermind. They're gonna overlook me entirely. I'm a criminal, guys. I'm just broke. That's
That's
why.
what those cartels do. That's what I've been telling you. See, you thought of it in the same way. When we had the argument about the cartels, and I said that's what they do, and you're like, you're not gonna work, and you're just telling me that's what you want to do to make it work. Anyways, I decided to drop that shit, dude.
Okay, speedster, slow down. Okay. Oh, he's just losing pace, tone.
It's just sycamore tree. That's fine with me. But proceed. Carry on. Carry on.
Nah, but religion. Back to religion. What do you think about religion, guy?
Oh yeah.
Like-
cheese.
When it comes to where we go in the end and all that stuff, like what do you think happened? Like the beginning, where we are, and the end, and religion in total. Like what do you believe in?
All right. I believe that the Bible is the book of books. I think that's where it stems from. I can, because a lot of it lines up with things that are not just religious, like they're historical as well, right? So I think based off of all the historical significance that the Bible does, approve and does shed light on to show that it kind of backs it up. I think from that perspective, I can say, yeah, okay, it holds at least some level of truth, and like I can prove that this is kind of like truth, right? So with that, it's like I can agree with a lot of things in it, but it's the way that we translate it, or we explain, or we try and apply it to different situations that I don't agree with oftentimes. For example, well, not for example, like just on the bigger picture, right? Obviously, God made us in a way where we're going to advance. We are built to just grow. We're built to adapt to situations and just keep going and just evolving in that sense, right? Not evolving in the sense where you're changing from a monkey to a man. You're literally evolving in the sense that you're adapting to your new situations. You're getting better day by day, whatever, whatever. So obviously, the things that apply in this century when this is society cannot apply or may not apply in the future one where this is the case where like half of the things on this checklist where this rule would apply no longer exist, right? So with that, it's like I get that it's the truth. Like I agree it's the truth, but like I feel like the way we implement it is we focus on certain, I'll say certain, not qualities, but like certain points, right? And okay, what we do is we major in minors, right? The real truth about God's love is it's like it's not about the little rules to do this and do that, and woman not supposed to do this and man supposed to do this and blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, this is kind of like the idea, right? You're supposed to like try and draw from the bigger picture, right? So I agree with certain things and I disagree with certain things, but not disagree in the sense that it's wrong. I just say, well, it's more like, okay, well, I don't think this necessarily applies. Not saying I'm picking and choosing based off of what's convenient, but like just what makes sense. Because, like we said, I'm a logical guy, right? So, how you choose as an individual to interpret and apply the knowledge that you gain in the Bible to your life, I also think that is up to you, because God says that in the end of it, everybody have to face their own judgment, right? And you're not going to judge me and you, like me and Timon cannot face the same judgment, period. Even if all our actions were the same. If me and Timon did all the same things for our entire lives me and Timon will not be judged the same. Reason is Timon is his own person and Timon came to those decisions where he made those actions. Like he came to that in his own way. And I came to them my own way, right? So we cannot be judged according to that because God ain't out here trying to be that petty on that level, trying to be, well, you did this. This is no, God is literally out here trying to see it's your heart he judging. Like what caused you to do this? What was your thought process? Blah 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 blah. Just continue down the line. So in that way, I think our religious experiences should be personal. Not personal in the sense that we keep it to ourselves, but the way that it works for me cannot be the way it works for you. It has like an aspect of individualism that's just like it pertains to you and you alone. Because there's things about you that that's specifically with you as Tim or Nicholas, the person you're born and destined to be, right? And on my end, it's the same thing. So with religion on a whole, I say whatever you cling to and you believe that with all your heart and you're giving that all of your devotion, all that stuff, it's like God cannot look at you for being the best version of you that you try to be to please him, even if you're doing it the wrong way, because it's your intent, I think, matters to God. Because look, like even back with that story with David did all those things. He even hid the truth to try and cover up and all that stuff. But the man at the end of the day, his heart, his intent was to serve God and be the best version of himself, right? And that is why
Mm.
he was righteous in the very end. Moses, Moses went through the whole, thing, having his flaws, his speech impediment, his temper, all these things. And literally, God still applied the rules, the wages of sin is death, blah, 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 blah. You sin, blah, blah, blah. But still, it's not like when he struck the rock, when God told him to talk to it and he sinned in that way because he didn't listen. It's not that God was like, well, you sin. God was like, well, you sin and, you have to suffer the punishment, right? What that doesn't mean I'm done with you. Like you're still going to be right. You're still, everything that is promised to you because of what like who you are is still going to be promised to you. You're just not going to see the promised land,
Bro.
right? But you're still going to come to heaven. You're still going to be, my people, Nothing changes in that sense. Just you're gonna have to pay the price. When David slept with Bathsheba and he yes, he slept with her, committed adultery. She was married and all that stuff. They bore a child, and literally God said, yeah, I understand you messed up, and I appreciate you for coming out and cleaning up your act. But boom, you messed up, and there's a price, the price you have to pay, right? That's just how it is, right? And as a result, that son that they had, or that was born, was conceived out of wedlock in because of the cheating situation, that child died, right? The prophet Nathan told him, boom, this child going to die, and that's what happened, right? And yeah, that's what happened. But that doesn't mean God was done.
Didn't even Bathsheba lose her shit, became like mad, like, dazed.
I don't know those details around that, but literally, the story doesn't end where the baby dies and they're like, oh yes, death, right? Literally, Bathsheba and David gave birth to another son, and that son, who literally, mind you, Bathsheba and David emerged out of sin, right? And the next son that they brought into the world was King Solomon.
Bro. And King Solomon is that guy.
King Solomon is that guy. So literally, y'all can't judge people and expect, just say, oh, this is the rules and blah, blah, and then look at them and then create this light. That's not how it works, because God don't work that way. Look at how God works with people throughout the Bible, and you realize, yo, it's not about the things on the outside. It's literally about the heart the person have on the inside. And people judge people and don't know each other's hearts. And, we try and operate on what we see on the outside, but it's literally what's in your heart. That's all that matters, you check?
Bro, the funny thing is, the takeaway from that story that people might just end up come to a conclusion is that, bro, what did the baby ever do to deserve such a
Yes,
punishment?
yeah.
Like, why would God kill an innocent baby for the things that their parents did? And I'm just
'Cause
like,
I look at it like that too. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's a human part. I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of messed up thing to do for the child. But then at the end, I mean, did the child really suffer? The child just kind of just doesn't exist anymore, But I mean, it's still, I kind of just don't play that way. Yeah, it's still like very harsh,
but
Like,
who
yeah,
who are
David
we
should
to
have
really
died.
understand what God can do and His
Yeah.
reasons and whatever, whatever? But let me tell you what's wild. Why you were saying all this?
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking, and I'm like, bro, a lot of bizarre stuff happened in the Bible why people think it's fiction and made up now. Because I wouldn't even believe it. Your parents would even believe it if it happened today. Okay?
Yeah, if I, yep.
It's
Definitely.
like, let's say you're in the desert and you see this green bush catching on fire. You're supposed to go back to somebody and say, hey, I didn't see a cactus in the desert today. No, what I saw? I saw a hedge, a green hedge. Bro, I haven't even seen a hedge like this in Egypt ever. And this thing was on fire. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's in the desert. Of course, it's gonna catch on fire. No. But it's green though, and it's not burning
A
or
green,
smoking.
healthy plant on fire that you were out in the desert. See, literally in today's day and age, you're
They can
literally
say,
going to end up with a mental health diagnosis at the
no,
end of that
first off, everybody
conversation.
doesn't that stood. They're like, first off, you're probably
Yeah.
seeing a mirage, or you were hallucinating because you were dehydrated,
You check
or
this
you were
is yeah.
all kind of. They won't believe shit
We
you
have too
said,
much knowledge for us to believe stuff like that today. Because it's like,
bro.
I hear you, but the possibility of that is like we can't explain that. But what we can explain is that it probably happened because this is what happened.
You
Like we
remember?
have to back everything up.
You remember that one story where God had this, devoted priest, and every time he went and prayed, things happened, and he was like, "Hey Lord, help them to defeat their enemies." Their man's came up on steroids, slay their enemies. The man's like, "Hey Lord, it's dry out. Send us some water," and God sent us some water, quench up the place, right? And this man, every time he prayed, God answered. They're like, "Whoa, this guy clean." And the king said, "How about we buy him so we can defeat our enemies," right? So the king said, "Hey, I can give you land, I can give you money. I want you to pray to your God to kill our enemies." And the man's like, "But your enemies are my people." The man's like, "But your people paying you?" He's like, "Oh, you're right." So this man ran his donkey over, to go curse all God's people, saying, "Hey, God, it's your boy again. Kill all my enemies." And God's like, "Whoa, those are my people. Those are our people." And the man's like, "But I'm asking, and you said, ask and it shall be given." And God's like, right? So now he going over there. Yeah, So now he going over there his donkey, and God's like, all right, let me let my donkey tell him what's going on, right? So God gave the donkey the ability of speech, like, I don't know, right? You know what could come out of that? Possession of donkeys.
Bro,
What happened? Why is this donkey talking? Right?
literally kill that thing.
This donkey saying, bro, I'm not taking you over there. No, the man's like, well, I'll just come off your back and then I'll just walk. The man's like, you know how far that is? You won't reach in time. So then the man's like, it's okay. I'll just pray for another donkey. So the donkey catches his leg between the walls. So no, he can't get off the donkey. So now the donkey there, and he cussing the donkey, yo, your mother is an ass, right? And the donkey's like, whatever, bitch, right? So this man living on his donkey who's talking to him, right? Just imagine some person pulling up and hear this man arguing with his donkey. You know that person turn around.
Yep, the man U-turn, straight U-turn. He's like, I can't believe what I just saw. What did I just see? Oh, the
can't.
questions the word. Now let me just go back and make sure that I am not the crazy one in the situation.
Exactly,
And that's how it's
exactly.
played out.
Right? So no, just imagine this man out here, right? Supposed to be cursed. I feel like that's where voodoo was born. Cause now he's a blessed man now, man of God, blessing his people. But then when it becomes blessings for the enemy, it's a curse.
Mm.
Bro, tell me if the Bible isn't creative.
Bro, the
Tell
Bible
me if
bro, like we said, it is, bro, the Bible is creativity.
bro.
God
Now
is the best, the
imagine
greatest artist.
if
Literally.
any of that happened today and I said, hey, mommy, I was outside and the cat started talking to me, and then this fire catch on, like this piece of potato caught on fire. It didn't burn. Looky right in my hand. And I tell her all these things, and then I saw some demons jump into a pig and then jump off a tree. She would say, oh, what happened to no? I was like, no, God was telling me something. He was giving me a
Straight a
sign.
crazy house
They
you
would
go.
take me straight. Like, God not tell you nothing, shut your mouth.
Straight
Right?
a clear view.
And in my head, I'm just like, so when God did that same thing in the Bible, y'all believe. But if God did it in this time, right now,
Through me.
through me, yeah, I wouldn't believe.
And that's
What,
why the Bible took place in the period it took place in. Because I know if God was to try to do that today, it would never work.
bro? It was a strategic move. This man's like, I know all the possibilities, the outcome of every decision anybody can make. Not faith, you know, guys. I'm not saying that we all stuck on one faith. It's just like if I decided to do this thing, God saw the end results. And if I made 10 different decisions on those, he knows all the decisions I would ever make leading up to my death. Right? That's what I think it is. So it's not that he controls our faith and we destined to be this thing, because he gave us the freedom of choice. So we can get to whatever possibility. All he knows is no matter what choice you choose to go in, I already know the outcome because I just see it all.
Mhm.
Right? So it's, man, I feel like I had a point now and it just slipped me. I
Man, it's
hate that.
Yeah, I hate that too. It's just there, and you keep you just slip
And then
out, and
it
you can
just,
see it. You can watch
I
it
could just
leaving through the
watch it
door.
leave and it's me. No, come back. Let me backstep. And he just, nah. And he's gone. I'm pretty sure I was about to blow your all minds just now. He's just gone. It's never coming back. I am so sorry. It's just not coming back.
Man, it happens.
It happens.
Next.
I was going somewhere, guys. Trust me. I wasn't baiting y'all up or hyping y'all up for nothing. I was going somewhere. But yeah, religion, guys.
Religion, yeah.
Nah, but like, I think that religion is all the religions are connected. There's a bit of truth in everything,
Definitely.
and because religion had to start from one place, one place, and it broke up and separated because somebody they interpret it different. It's just like, hey, Lord say thou shalt not kill, but then this man say, yes, the Lord said thou shalt not kill. He said turn the other cheek, but like self-defense though, because you have to protect your temple. So God said thou shalt not kill unless it's self-defense. And then this man break up his church and said, all right, instead of having, Pentecostal, let's have Moravian. And
Just to
let's,
split the room.
yeah,
That's
they
not the
just
facts.
split.
The facts
That's
of
not,
like
yeah, that's
why
not the
those
facts.
things.
That's not the
Yeah,
facts.
just like the idea.
I'm just
so
giving
y'all
the
know.
idea.
Just so y'all know.
Because I'm not gonna say Christianity is the oldest, but it's one of the oldest. Okay.
But I wouldn't even. I would say compared to like Okay, because I think was it. Yeah, it was probably you I was talking to where I was saying, or somebody brought up the point somewhere and was like, bro, y'all with this Christianity thing, but
And Jesus wasn't
Jesus was a
even a
Jew.
Christian. Yeah, he wasn't even a
Yeah,
Christian.
she was Jewish.
Christianity literally created after he died, or I don't think it would
Yeah.
be after he died, because the Roman Catholics believed in God and high power before Jesus was born
They
and
did.
stuff like that.
And I
So,
think that has a huge role to play in like why Christianity is the way it is. And that is literally because man got involved or brought religion into their own deeds of power and stuff like that with the Roman card. Because Jesus started off when Jesus no, the boy was a Jew. The boy was born in Jerusalem. So automatically somebody could say, well, if any religion is going to be the right one, you have to be Judaism, right?
Judaism, because God was born into that one,
Yeah,
right?
that's who he was. Like the man died a Jew. He didn't die a Christian. Like he died a Jew.
Shit, he wasn't
But
even
then
born Christian. He was born Jew.
literally, like that was his whole thing. All the thing he did that as a Jew, you know? And the big picture is that throughout everything he did, right? The Jewish people, they were so stuck into their thing that they weren't open-minded at all and weren't studying the thing or didn't believe the prophecies or whatever. So when Jesus pull up on the scene doing everything he's doing in the name of Jesus, them Jews is like, hold up, son. That's blasphemy because you can't be God. Like you're
Bro,
just a man. You're literally just a mortal. You cannot be man. These things you're doing, they're tricks. You know, blah blah blah. And that's why in the very end, they took this guy out.
but yeah, they're probably treating that as like a hostile takeover of their power,
Yeah,
because they used religion back in the day as a form of to control the masses,
yeah.
and
That's
you
where the
know,
Roman card came in for sure. When they basically like the Roman Empire used religion. Basically, the papacy is y'all can look up these words, but the papacy has to do with the merger of
church and state.
state and religion, right? And that's literally where Catholicism strands from with the Roman Catholics, where that's why where they basically join everything, and that's why in the Catholic Church and stuff, there's a lot of religion linked with a lot of historical things, and a lot of the things that are done in the Catholic Church don't necessarily are backed up from the Bible and stuff. Like, for example, the whole thing of let's not even go to the whole Sunday law and all this stuff, but like just the fact that God, what the first commandment, what does it say? Thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? Right? You only pray to me, blah 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 blah, right? Why is it in the Catholic Church that the only way for you to atone for your sins or the way for you to atone for it, you have to come and talk to a priest? Or why am I bowing down to the saint whoever? Why am I praying to Mary? At what
Bro,
point did anybody pray to Mary?
you know how crazy it is, because the Bible really set up his own demise now, because this man built a temple and people were praying to God through this temple, holy temple and stuff, and they made the ark
Mm,
and whatever.
mhm.
I feel like that's just one stepping stone to say, oh, let's just pray to objects. you
They weren't
know?
praying to it. They weren't
No,
praying
no,
to
I
it.
mean, I know what I
But
mean, but
yeah,
like,
yeah, it
if you
was like it.
touch, that's where God was resign in that ark, right? He will come
Mm,
down, there's be a little light in the center. God will come, that's his old throne, right? His ark that he moved around with, right? But I'm just saying, they made this object now holy.
Okay,
If you
they
touch
gave it
that, yeah,
holistic value. Yeah,
if
yeah.
you
Okay.
touch that ark, you could potentially just fall down and die, even if you're trying to stop it from falling over.
If you weren't one of the people who were supposed to be handling it, yeah.
Right? So now, in some people could think like, oh my goodness, the ark was what had the glory,
Oh,
what gave us, and that could have, like,
they said,
it's
damn, he was once in Mary, so Mary's as holy as the ark was. I'm pretty
bro,
sure
that's what
now.
I'm saying. It's always
Maybe.
somebody's misconception of what
Mhm.
the information, the facts is, and then they said, yeah, this is what I believe in, this is what it is, and they said, if you can't understand this is what it means, I'm gonna go my separate way. And then he started church, and a lot of people hear it and say, that makes sense, that makes
Yeah,
sense to
and there is
me.
that. Yeah, they can connect with that, and they boom, 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 and that's literally where it all starts. Like it's when mankind's agenda gets mixed up, or they try and accomplish their agenda with religion, and that's the problem. Like the whole crusades, where you hear a lot of people have like this whole thing of Christianity because the way Christianity came to the modern world was through these soldiers and people just murdering people who did not want to accept Jesus, or the story of The whole thing. These mans were just literally going around the place. The crusades that we have home is literally we go out there in a tent in the community and we preach
And just
to the community here.
make nice that everybody can hear. And they're
Everybody
like,
can
we
hear
not
y'all
go
hearing the
church now.
truth.
And then it's like,
We bring church
I'm
to
not
you,
going
bro.
to church. I am not going to your Adventist church. And we're like, say less. And then we go outside and start
Bring
some
the
noise
church to you.
pollution. So you're in your bedroom, I watch your show, and you can't hear nothing but God. We were a menace to our society.
And in that way, that's the worst. I think that's the worst we get in that sense, right? But like as far as they were doing back in the day, man's was like traveling, going to new places. Man's pull up in Canada, seeing all these indigenous people, like, oh
Which,
y'all worshiping these things? Nah, this is wrong. And then like here, y'all are savages. You know, we need to blah blah. Jesus. Oh no, Jesus. Boom. All right, guess we have to kill y'all now. And literally just wiping out people for not believing in Jesus to get the whole Christianity seed across, right? So now they planted that seed. What do you expect people to think of the overall movement, especially in a day like, in the century, in the time we live in, when you can look back on historical records and everybody's like as sensitive as we are now? Like the whole pollution where we contaminated religion with mankind's agenda is the reason why people have such a dirty taste in their mouth for religion.
bro, for
And
real.
we just keep contributing to that. Well, I don't think we keep doing it. It happened, and it's not something that anybody's looking to be like, okay, yeah, that was kind of wrong, or even try and tidy up. It's just like, yeah, that happened. It is what it is. But here we are now, type of thing. But like people don't pay attention to all them details, bro. They just see, oh, church, oh, judgmental, oh, hypocrites, but don't know like all the ways that this trickled down, how it got polluted, how it came one thing, came another, and all that stuff. But Jesus was not a Christian. He was a Jew. He got betrayed. Well, not betrayed. They just didn't, accept him. And literally, Christianity came as a result of the following of Christ. Christ's teachings that he left on earth when the disciples went and started to plant those seeds. That is Christianity. That's where it started there. But the Christianity that we know that started in the world started when the Roman Catholic Church and the Roman and Catholic, the Romans and whatever did whatever papacy, all that stuff, and then created the Christianity we know today. And most people still look at us through the Catholic Church, right? And then people like us who were like, okay, we're Seventh-day Adventists. Our church is kind of removed from all that stuff because we went, okay, this is the version of Christianity that y'all brought to the world, but what does the real book say? What does the Bible say about this? And then we kind of, okay, this kind of doesn't align with this. And then we kind of break it down like, okay, well, everything that's not of the Bible, we're not dealing with that. So all that, cultural things that y'all do, all the things that are historical in y'all books, that's good for y'all, but we're just gonna keep to this because we ain't trying to keep, try and keep all our eggs in the same basket.
Yeah,
right?
but at the end of the day, we too could be, misconstrued, and we could have been following somebody's wayward thinking. But to us, it makes sense. The facts are there, the history is there, so we follow it. Just like everybody believe in their religion 100%,
Yeah.
so do we. And we can't knock anybody because, again, I think all religions are connected. Not
Yep,
just to say
definitely.
that we came from one place and then we divide ourselves and we lost our way, but I feel like every religion out there has a bit of the truth. And if we can
Well,
find it and
yeah.
bring it together, we'll know the whole truth. Because, like, in my head, it's wild to think that, all right, God said, he sent some disciples to write a Bible, to write a book, right? And it only happened on one side of the world, like just one place somewhere in, I don't know, let's call it Europe, right?
Mhm.
Some guys was like, oh man, God inspire me right now, and this ain't ghost writing, this is me writing parables and the
Yeah.
word from God. And the whole Bible over the centuries, New Testament, Old Testament, was done in this section, right, of the world,
Mhm.
and then spread out to the rest. It could be the case, but I feel like God won't just use one man. I feel like if God was supposed to try to get the message across, he would use multiple people worldwide. Because then, how did Christianity even get to the Caribbean when the Caribbean and the Incas and what the name? Incas?
Oh no,
They
that's
were
not
they were
us.
doing their
That's
own
that's
thing.
Caribs and Arawaks for us.
Caribs and Arawaks and stuff like that, right? And they were doing their own thing and worshiping their own stuff. And you don't think they hold some sort of truth in what they believe or what they came something?
Definitely.
Because God
There has to, yeah.
wouldn't just he had his chosen people, yes, but he wouldn't just use one set of people to his agenda. He would use
Definitely.
everybody. So I feel
Like
like all the religions that are out there, despite the scientific one, paleontology, for that bitch. God's out
Yeah.
here using people, and we just need to
Yeah,
just
like
we just need to come together and just say, hey, what your religion say? Because I think it's even in the Quran or something. That man's was just like,
I
bro,
was going to say that.
this prophet was born and whatever, whatever, and that story links up with Christianity's story.
Bro,
The only thing is,
people don't realize Islam, like Muslims fully believe in the Bible. They fully believe in Jesus. They literally believe in it up to the point where Jesus died or whatever. Literally where our beliefs split is the part where we claim Jesus as the savior and Jesus came back to life or whatever, whatever.
and they
Apparently
just
Muslims don't believe
separated.
that. They
They,
don't believe that he was the savior or whatever, whatever. They
he was
believe
just
he
a
was a
prophet.
prophet and he did die. He did go away and
He did do
when
all
he
them
comes
teachings
back,
and stuff.
the reason he hasn't come back or he didn't come back to life is because it's not yet his time. So they have their own prophecy that they're thinking is going to be fulfilled in that sense where yes, Jesus is going to be come back for us, but like he's not the son of God. He's a prophet and he's a special prophet. He's close to like he's like on up there, you check? And his role is yet to be completed. That's what our Islam believes in. I haven't read that myself. I spoke to a coworker who is pretty active in his religion.
Fun fake
So
facts.
that's how I know. I wouldn't say it's fake facts. I'll put it. I'll have to what do you call it? I have to cite it.
Yeah,
Cite it
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
I hear you. I
bibliography.
hear you. I hear you. Nah, but then this whole thing, I feel like people just want to like disagree for no reason. Because I was thinking about it the other day, right? And I don't want to tell a long story about, I could, but just not today. About like how it all began, right? Because science like, yo, God doesn't exist. The universe isn't created by this celestial being who's manipulating our existence and blah. The Big Bang was created by gravity and this and that and
Mhm.
pressure and movement and explosions and gas and all this shit, right? So in my head, I'm just like, but what if God said, let there be light and then there was a Big Bang? Hmm?
What
Then
then?
what? Why
Then
can't
what?
it be both? Yeah,
Literally,
but
like
then an alien species came down and then helped us kickstart our civilization, or this meteor came down and touched Earth and the conditions were right. I'm just like, okay, okay. But what if God say, let there be fish, and then a meteorite came down with some particles from the right condition and it started. Like we don't know. But I'm just like, we so quick to just say it's this or it's that, or it can't be this. Why can't it be both? Why do we have to be divided? Why? Because just like how you can justify one thing and the other, I can justify my answer.
yeah,
Once
literally,
I
as
can.
the person I am, like the way I think, and that's why I tend to overthink everything. Is like the reason is like literally for me, I can justify any answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you give me a multiple choice exam, that's gonna be hard for me unless I specifically know. I'm not the type of person that I record the facts in my head. I record the concept so I know how to apply it with the information I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I learn. I take information and then I kind of think about it in my own way, try and make it make sense so I can put it out a certain way. So when you give me a multiple choice exam, right? And they always do this thing where they try and make one of the at least two answers really close to each
Close
other.
to each other, yeah.
Literally in my head, when I see those options and I'm looking, my brain doesn't go, oh, it's definitely this one. It goes, okay, this is the question. What does this option mean? Okay, I don't think that would be it. What does this one mean? And then when the two that are really close, my brain just start building like a whole
A
case
case.
for each of the word. And it's like, okay, so which one is it now? Because I fully just justify both these answers in my head. So what do I do now? I literally, it goes all the knowledge and all the thing I'm exerting just literally comes down to any mini miny mo in that sense, yeah, Jack?
But it's
So it's
crazy
like,
now.
why is it, why are we like that? Why is it always have to be like what you said, like it has to be this and nothing else, It could be multiple things, and I think God knows, as rational beings, that is how we think, right? That is how we're going to take this information. That is how we're gonna, try and explain and make it make sense and apply it to us. He knows our nature. He knows what we're capable of because he designed us to be capable of the things that we're capable of, right? So you don't think he's taken all these things into consideration beforehand? Like it's not necessarily problematic. We have to literally be open-minded, but we still have to, yeah, we have to be stuck between being open-minded and standing firm into what we believe. Like there's a thin line there, but we still need to like have a bit of both. You check?
Oh no, I get that, man. I get that. And I think it was in the same podcast for Extra Gravy.
Mhm.
I think that guy Marlin. I don't remember his Twitter handle.
That dude McFly.
Yeah, he was saying that okay, if if the Bible was created on Earth, right?
Mhm.
And there are the alien species out there. Do they have a Bible? Do they have the same Bible? Do they serve the same God? And in my head, I'm just like, why would that be the case? Right? Because the only reason God even did all of this, gave us a Bible, is because the devil came down and said, "Hey Eve, you're not gonna surely die if you eat this apple."
Hmm.
And Eve's like, "Say less." And she came and she run the apple down her throat. And then Adam caught her and she's like, "Yo, boss, it's not what you think. It's not what you think." And he's just like, "Girl, I don't know what happened, but your ass looking thick. Give me the apple." Right? And for him, apple, sticking him in throat, right? He just stick in a his throat. You hear me? Greediness no pay. And now the apple stick in his toe and it became a genetical mark, and that's why we have Adam at Apple.
Other
Anyways,
apple.
anyways. Anyways, back on topic, back on topic. I just lost myself just now. Anyways, right? And it's only because of sin why we have the Bible, because God came down and died for us and stuff. Now, let's say the Bible kind of hints that there are other life forms out there, right? Because it was like the devil traveled through the galaxy, passing all these worlds, and chose Earth. And probably not in so many words, but the Bible can't just be outright saying, "Yo, dog, out of all the aliens out here, he chose this planet to corrupt," right? But
Mhm.
literally, the devil was going through all these planets and he couldn't find one to corrupt. And then he found a freshly made one that God himself came down and put hands on the dirt and created. That's high praise now. The God
Right.
of creation come and made these creatures ways, and he didn't call them into existence like he did the animals. He made
Yep.
these. And the man's like, them they have a fully.
Check.
Them they didn't know nothing yet. So he came down and took advantage. I don't think that happened. I think he tried the rest worlds, and then man's like, "Oh no, Gabriel told us the facts. He told us you'll be coming. So not to
Yeah.
listen to
We're
you. So
expecting you.
we're expecting you." Right? This is what God said when he made humans. We were a little bit lower than angels, right? We had the ability to procreate, be fruitful and multiply. Meaning, probably the angels didn't have that feature to be fruitful and multiply, so they don't age as fast as we do, or they don't need
Or
to,
at all.
or need to have sex to reproduce or whatever. All we know is we were the ones that can do that. So aliens could be out there living for millions of years, stopping by ever so often watching us. They don't know what it's like to sin. They don't know what it's like to disobey God. God didn't come to their planet and say, "Yeah, you guys are good. Keep up
Yeah.
the good work." No,
Different circumstances.
different circumstances. God didn't come to their planet and say, "Yo, I'm gonna just die for y'all for no reason." No. Why? Why would he do that? It would be a pointless gesture.
Yeah.
So aliens, all these creatures, they could be humanoid. They could be whatever. They could all be a planet full of dolphins that walk on land, for all we know, right? But they won't have the same circumstances. Or that's the only difference with us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's that what makes us unique.
Somewhere in the Bible it says angels will be like, I don't want to call it jealousy, but they won't understand the trials that we've been through
Because
because
they lack the entity that is required.
yeah,
Yeah. They lack the experience, they lack the circumstances, the expressions and things that cause us to feel the way we feel, the same make no, they don't have it. It's
so
it's
if
not all the same.
when we go to heaven or whatever and start singing them Negro spirituals and them gospels and we say, "Ooh, thank you for dying for us," and we putting all our soul into it, the man be like, "Man, I wish I could sing that song."
Yeah.
But you know what's up? I've not I could just sing it, but it wouldn't mean nothing to me because I haven't been in that situation. God didn't die for me.
Yeah. Check. God just been here
He
whole
just
time.
been here the whole
Yeah,
time.
we been just chilling here whole time. So it's like, hey, God, he's a big boss, but like we still cool. Whereas for us, it's like, oh my God, thank you God for it's a whole different thing, man. So yeah, I get why you'd feel like so like that's such a dumb question for him to ask that. But like I mean, it's a valid question at the same time, especially for somebody who's not necessarily grounded in the word. So for him to have that question, I don't knock the question. I just knock it if maybe there was ignorance after, like, if we were to share this information, then there would be ignorance after that. Then I'd start to be like, all right, boss, you kind of have to like you know, get yourself checked.
Because
'Cause,
like at the end of the day, no, nobody really ever knows. So
Mhm.
the
Nobody
only the
does.
only time you're gonna know who religion is right is in the end. The people who probably might find out fast enough is those who believe that there's an afterlife. So as soon as you die, you see God,
Yeah,
which
like
is bonkers. Because if my good granny passes away, right,
mm,
and she in heaven, you think she gonna want to see me dicking down somebody's daughter? No.
so my
Especially
grandma up
since
there
we're not
looking down at
married.
me.
So just imagine, I'm done here. Yeah, good. You feel it in your ribs. I'm over here exaggerating, guys. I don't know if that's the situation that these females be feeling, but just cool, right? So I'm just saying, right? And she's like, oh yeah, yeah. And then my granny's like, oh my goodness, what is he doing? He's not
And she
even
doesn't have to
married,
watch
and
because
she just have to watch.
she's our guardian angel now.
Then now she up there upset, Bex, sad. And you know what God said? There's not gonna be any sadness or crying in heaven. It's contradictory. Like,
Yeah,
why?
it's not possible.
If I'm down here criminal murdering,
Mash them up.
okay, sorry. If I'm down here murdering glass and people, right? You think my grandmother's gonna be up there happy like, I disown him, so I'm good. You think I'll go like,
Hmm.
hey, that's not the behavior of a Christian. What do
Yeah,
you know? It don't make no sense.
yeah. It don't make
Logically
sense for us
speaking,
to die and go straight to
when
heaven. It
people
doesn't.
when people believe, I'm not gonna hate y'all who believe that there's an afterlife or there's rebirth or anything, because I don't have the right to, right? But logically speaking, guys, just like don't try to justify it to say, all right, I believe in this thing, so I can behave a certain how. Because a lot of people saying, oh, me can be Seventh Day Adventist because all the good something happen on Saturdays, so me go church on Sunday.
Hmm.
They do it so it can justify,
They
like
do it because it's
it benefits. It's
convenient.
convenient to
It's
them.
convenient to them, and that is one of the things that people are going to hell for sure. Because you literally know what's right, and you're not basing your actions off of what you think is best. You literally like, I don't feel like it, and God's like, you have the right to not feel like it, but also with whatever this equals this, right? And I'm not going to say that you're going to hell just for that reason, right? But it has to do with your whole thought process as to why you felt like it was okay to just put this import thing that's important to God, you just put it on the side because you're like, it's not that important to you, right? There has to be, and I feel like judgment is going to be more wholesome. So I'm not going to say you're going to hell. Let me take that back. I just that you're going to be judged for that, and you're gonna have to answer for why was it so convenient for you to put other things above me when literally, that's what I
And
ask
bro,
of you.
there's something else too. So I don't know where this hell and heaven thing came from, or if it's
Mhm.
mentioned in the Bible. But God did mention that He was gonna like burn down the place, which like everybody going dead.
Yep.
But there was a place back in like Jerusalem, the Valley of Shadow of Evil, and in place there was a place back in them times that it was constantly on fire, and it was referred to as hell. It
Mm.
wouldn't be so far fetched that the Bible be like just calling some landmarks and saying, "Yo, there's a place over there that they call hell that keeps burning because I don't know, methane gas, or it's probably a volcano."
Mm.
Right?
That's most likely what it is.
And he made reference to it saying, yeah, y'all gonna burn like that place over there, hell. And then somebody's like, hell, burn, sinners, heaven, hell, it's a place. And then they bring it, and just because how they, because man's
Mhm.
back in the days would come to any kind of theory or conclusion. Oh my goodness, this man just turned into a beast. Werewolves. You remember that king that got turned into a beast for a couple days?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah,
Yeah, the boy sent you out
werewolves.
and just like, yep, werewolf.
Werewolf.
They just release it to what they
Whole
know.
whole thing start. Whole legend start off of
It's
this
like
one thing. Bro,
the sighting of Nebuchadnezzar.
no, I think in the same podcast, I don't want to leech off these guys too much, but they were saying some stuff that really was like getting to me. And I'm just like, how y'all thinking like that, man? I know I don't have all the answers. I know I'm not the one to say what is right and what is wrong. But like to me, maybe because I'm indoctrinated in my religion, or I'm so
Yeah.
strongly rooted, and thinking that you are wrong. I'm right, but I can't really, in good heart, say that I'm right.
Mhm.
Okay, but he was saying, bro, how in the world is the gospel gonna reach the entire world? Because there's a saying like in the Bible that says, when the gospel have reached everybody's ears and eyes and they know of him, that's when he gonna come, right?
Mhm.
And then man's like, you gonna tell me them people who cut off from society in the jungle gonna hear about Jesus' word? What do you think missionaries do?
Literally, that's kind of what the job
I
is.
know, let's think about it. 10 years ago, before 10 years, let's call it 15, when the iPhone wasn't even a thing, the internet wasn't even popping the way it was popping. The message was out there and it wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me you can't see a future where internet is accessible worldwide, because that's what best what's his name? Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk is trying to accomplish. Give the whole world some form of internet, right? You're trying to tell me it's so hard to believe that the message would somebody somewhere in the jungle say, man, I wish there's one thing I could just know about, and you just never know what that thing is. Bro, it's crazy to think that technology won't spread across the world to a point where everybody has access to technology. Everybody have access to information. And I feel like the more the world evolves, is the worse it's gonna get for us as a people.
It
But
is.
everybody is going to hear about every religion
Yeah, they're
that's
gonna hear
out
the
there.
truth. They're gonna
So
hear it.
it's not just the Adventist Christianity religion or any form of just Christianity. One way or the other, everybody's gonna hear some. Bro, yeah, I know a bunch of y'all know what two girls or one cup is, and if you
Bring that one
don't,
up
you're just too young. But that video still exists and it's still being uttered out of somebody's mouth somewhere,
today.
and a
This very
bunch of
day.
new people
I'm
have
finding
seen
it day
it
by
for the
day.
first.
Yep.
And to us, that shit died years ago. Nobody
Yep.
talking about that. But I can guarantee you new people are discovering that video and being grossed out.
Definitely,
You see how
man.
I just did that nasty thing? I just threw it in religion. I just
Just
threw it in the
throw it.
middle of all that. Look at that.
I might have to go take a shower after this
Yeah, boy.
in holy water because you don't
Ugh,
contaminate me.
bro.
But also on the thing you said with hell, and this is so basically the idea of hell too is a place where we're going to go for not listening to God. So we're just going to burn and suffer forever, right? But would you agree that that's the general view of hell in most
Yep.
people? It's a
Yep.
place that we're just going to be all together, just burning and burning and burning, just never ending suffering, whatever, whatever, right? You really think God is interested in that?
Because that's
What
that's
what
how
would
mercy works.
what would God get out of that for doing that to us? Literally, and let's think logically, right? The idea of the second coming is Jesus is gonna come down, right? And all those who died in him are going to face their judgment first. So when he comes back, the next time he come back, he's coming to collect those who died in him, or who he's going to judge, but already gave them the pass that yeah, you're getting in, but like I still got to run through the judgment with you, right? That's who he coming for, right? And when those who are dead are not going to go to heaven, they stay in dead, right? They stay in dead. We're going up, right? To this place that he prepared for us, and we're going to dwell up there for whatever amount of time, right? Earth is still Earth. Earth is still in whatever state he left it in, right? So, and the idea is at the end of our time in heaven, he's going to bring all that was in heaven down to earth, right? So whatever the whole whatever we're living up there, he bringing that, so he touching on land now, right? We're coming back, and the new earth is this new place without sin. It's basically heaven on earth. That's literally what the whole second coming and all that is about, right? So with that being said, before God can bring heaven down to earth, the new Jerusalem, to create that place for us, would you not say he have to clear the land first? You don't think
Shit.
you wouldn't you say he has to tidy up, because remember what the state that he left earth in. All he did is took the pure from it. All that's left there is filth now, right? And literally, hell is not a place. Hell is more of an event because he's just going to literally
It's
use
basically
fire.
Ragnarok.
wipe, to clean to purify the earth. Literally, just the heat so hot, the fire so hot that nothing, not bro. How the fire a fire so hot that it will destroy sin.
Bro, it's purging everything. Is
Everything.
the myth, Greek mythology stuff with Ragnarok and stuff, and Thor's and shit,
Yeah,
where is a fire that comes down, destroys everything,
and
and
just leaves
everything is that's
nothing.
what it is. So
That's
everything's gonna
literally what
get
it is.
burns, brimstones,
Burnt.
hails, just
Yeah.
mash up everything
It's not about
until
suffering or nothing. It's like you're literally just suffering, or the price you're paying for living the way you chose to live and disregarding God. The punishment for that is literally not seeing heaven. That is the punishment, not seeing or being able
bro.
to enter heaven.
And the
That's
thing is
literally
now,
it.
while all that happening, people will still be alive. Yes, they're gonna suffer because when he come back, he said they're gonna attempt to try take over the city.
Yeah, which means they have to have life to do that. Yeah, so they're not gonna be happy with it because they could be like, oh nah, like I should be in the people too. Like, oh my gosh, I was wrong.
If I
Like,
can't have it, nobody can. I'm gonna take it from
yeah,
y'all. Like, yeah,
yeah,
boss,
and
the man
literally all the
merciful,
evil.
bro.
Bro, literally, the boy has every reason to have y'all on there suffering, but my guy is literally just going to purify the earth, and not in a sense, but so he can get back at y'all for what y'all did, because the man ain't holding no grudge against y'all because he gave you a choice. If he didn't give you a choice and you blatantly went out and still did what you did, that I feel that maybe that's more cause. He might take it personally, but he gave you a choice. So as a result of the choices you make, this is the reality you're going to have to face, right? If you're okay with not seeing heaven, that's fine. God's saying, yeah, you have the truth.
You
Yo, it's
enjoyed
fine.
yourself. You do you. It's your choice
Yeah,
to make.
literally.
And that
So
that that might literally be enough for some people. They're just like, all
that's
right,
literally
eternal life. I'm gonna live my life to the fullest and enjoy. It's okay if I don't get to see it. Have a second life.
because he's fully telling you what's to come is better than what we have now by far. Like in senses we can't even comprehend, right? So the whole idea that God is this monster who just wants what he wants, and whoever the give what he wants going to suffer and get punished. That's far from what God is. And I don't know why we have that vision of just hate, that version of hate, in the way that we depict him in when we talk about heaven and hell.
Bro, and the craziest thing about it, you ever hear some people saying, oh, me don't do this me not change. Me a sinner. It's too late for
Yeah,
me.
like
Yeah,
bro,
I gotta be this
so
day
is
till I
everyone
die.
else.
Right? And in my head I'm just like, but bro, the man giving you until you die to make it right. I'm not saying that, yeah, you say, tell God, forgive me for lying, and then you go lie tomorrow. you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
You commit your sin and you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Then you don't do it, you try to not do it again. You try to not do it again. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Because
It's
if you
literally,
think
yeah.
about it, your parents do the same thing.
It's that,
Don't do
bro, the
that, or you're
same
gonna
thing.
get licks. And you know what you do? You don't do it. And if you one day decide I'm gonna do it, you're getting licks. You're gonna vex with you get vexed with your parents. You think your parents vex with you that whole time? After and
No,
before and now.
you think they don't love you anymore? You think
Now.
anything has changed? Literally, the only thing is that's taking place is the law of the land, where actions have consequences. You pay the price. You buy, you wear what you buy. You check? That's literally how this works.
And
And at the end of it, you decide what you need to decide. You choose which bed you're going to lay in tonight. You choose everything, and you deal, because bro, that's literally the power that we have. The power of choice is one of the most powerful things ever. And God
check.
said, you know what? I'm gonna give it to not you alone. I'm gonna give it to everybody.
Bro,
Billions
the
of people.
angels have freedom of choice.
Literally, angels have that. That is why the devil is the devil. And even the way he's
And that's why he
depicted,
even
he's,
had followers. They
yeah,
had
because they
choices.
literally just like, oh yeah,
They
I'm gonna roll
weren't
with this
destined
guy.
to. They wasn't destined to be a good guy and a bad guy. One guy got jealous because he was feeling himself way too much,
Yeah,
and he started gossiping and spreading rumors, bad talking God behind his back, not knowing that the man's know everything he say, and he gave him more than enough chance to stop. Now, I
yeah.
say, hey, Lucifer,
See what you
I
be
know what
doing.
you're doing. Just
Yeah,
chill, man. And Lucifer's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
you check.
And the
That's
man
why I
keep
played
talking.
dumb.
You see, God over there think you know everything. The ball's in him. And then God's like, bro, don't talk about my boss. Stop. And the man's like, look, he telling us what to do. He gave us freedom of choice. Right? The man been just milking that. And the man's like, hey, yeah. And then God's like, all right, there's too much here outside of this guy. Y'all leave.
Bro.
And the man still said, I'm gonna kick y'all out to heaven.
I'm gonna kick you out. Man could have wiped you from existence, you know, but God ain't like that.
They could have exploded the whole galaxy and just said,
He
let's.
said, well, if that's what you want, then so be it. But this is what's gonna happen.
Lucifer could have been a god somewhere else to some other thing in the distance. Just somewhere he could have found an empty planet to say, well, because I'm a celestial being, I could probably pull this star into this place and set things. Because I'm assuming that they can do things like that still, right? And the man could have just lived his life. He could have been a king of his people, just somewhere else out in the vast expanse of space. The man said, "You kicked me out from my house, dog. What you want? What's your favorite thing out here? Oh, them new mans? Bet.
Literally,
The
the
man said,
man
I'm
is
gonna get
out,
back at you.
bro. Literally, literally the devil uses us to get back. We're literally when you but that's the idea of sin too. Literally, indulging in sin, you're literally acting as a pawn. You're being played. Because at the end of it, the battle isn't necessarily for you. You just gonna be the one to face the consequences. But it's still at the end of it, like it's like we have all this that we can take into consideration, and we still choose ignorance.
Yo, my thing is, right, if everybody follow, like, everything follows a law,
Ev-
religion,
Everything,
science, the universe,
just living alongside your fellow men.
yeah,
There's laws.
there's
There's
laws. And if you can follow laws and you can follow the logic and you can see, not just try to say, oh, this benefits me, or oh, this works out best for me, just look at it with your eyes and don't be biased. Just look at it from both points of views and figure out what is the story that they're telling
yeah.
together.
What is trying to be accomplished here?
Yeah. And you literally your view on things is gonna just open up, because now you can't look at thing one sided. You're seeing it from, and you can choose still.
You
It's
still
like,
have a choice. Yeah.
yeah, you still have the choice. It's like, oh, I see this and I see the benefits here and there, and I can see what these two could do together, and you can still choose, but you can't be blind or say, oh, you can't eat pork, so why God created animals. Bro, he created them because he needed something to, everything has a purpose on earth. The
Literally.
flies do this and then they feed that do this and it's been eaten by that. That's the food chain. And these we call it, these animals that clean up the mess and the waste of the world, God
Mhm.
say, hey, don't eat that, man. That can't be healthy for your temple, for your body. Like, they eat shit and clean up. They're the garbage man. Like, they gonna eat something and it's gonna be inside your body. Like, you don't want that. Just don't eat it. Just, these are clean. And the man just said, these are clean. No, eat these. They taste good. Trust
Literally, he
me.
drew a line and said, "Hey, this is okay. This is okay, and for these reasons, this is how you know if it's going to be okay or not. This is the rules to playing it safe, right?"
And was it real? He said, don't eat. He just said, these are unclean.
No, he said the uncle you should not eat of it.
Okay. Well, you
Partake of
see,
it.
I learned
Yeah,
something new today.
yeah.
Because
These are
I'd have
things you
been
should
like,
not partake
"Ooh, you
of.
could
Yeah.
still eat pork, guys." But
Ah,
nah, he said don't eat it,
nah.
just cool.
But if you look at it at the whole, like if we're talking about pork, for example, right? Look at pork. Take it away from the whole spiritual aspect and the fact that God said so. Let's look at it from a scientific health benefit thing, right?
His parents own
Pork
veggie
is
roll.
still pork is pork is still one of the most unhealthiest meats you can get. Full of cholesterol, full of fat, all these things. People eating
Bro,
this thing, getting hard, and like the science alone is like that's why there are a lot of people who have no ties to religion still don't eat pork. Like
yo,
there's literally that line there too. And like people are just like, well, no, no, no. And they just want to justify it. Why? Because you like the taste of pork. So you continue to eat it and disregarding all the evidence and all the everything that's clearly in front of you. That's because it's more convenient to you. And you're basically choosing yourself or your own, what would you call that? You're just going into your cravings, whatever. Your tongue, your tongue is more can convince you. It will direct your actions more than like who you're loyal to. You know, you're fully in this religious stuff, but like you like bacon, bang, good. So what you do? When you order the burger, you leave the bacon on it, or you pretend you didn't see it, right? But why? Because it's convenient. You still have the opportunity to take the bacon off the burger now. You still have that opportunity, but you still take that bite
Well,
and you
that's so
still
much
go through
work.
with
You
it.
have to use extra words to tell them not to
Okay,
put
because
salt.
it's convenient. Still just leave it there. It's easier for me to just name it and just take the sin and just add that to the book. You check?
I could always say, God forgive me for dying and go to
You check?
heaven.
And God said people who sin, because in that way too, if you sin and you're like, yeah, I'm going to sin because I know I can just do this, that's bad.
Yeah,
That's
that's
quite
bad.
bad.
It doesn't work
Because you're
like that.
literally just like that's like God's like, nah. Because you're sorry for that sin is not I'm not gonna accept the sorry, no.
Because Lord
Because
knows if
right
you were
now
gonna
you're not
live,
sorry.
you want to do it again.
You're gonna do it again. Literally, you would do it again in a heartbeat.
But
You
it's
know?
crazy though because when my dad used to be like they call it a chef. He used to be the
Mhm.
head chef for like Half Moon Bay when the hotel was still standing.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
birth was chaos, guys. In 1995, a hurricane came and decimated his workplace.
Mash 'em up. He
To
still
this
has
day,
not
to
been
this day, he
rebuilt.
can't even recover. That was my birth, guys. Anyways, so me being born took my job, took the job away from my dad. But when he was head chef there, he said he used to when he became Adventist, he was still the head chef, and you had to cook all the food and stuff. And he said the pigs will come in, and you'll still see the maggots and worms and parasites still moving around the flesh, and the flesh long down cut up now, and the muscles
Mhm.
still twitching and pulling and all kind of thing. And I'm just like, he said after a while he realized, man, I'm preaching and teaching and saying this is my lifestyle, but I'm still manhandling and cooking and giving these people this pork to eat.
Yeah.
And it's so unclean from what he read and what he learned, right? So he had to stop and give put other people inside the kitchen in charge of making the pork and the lobsters and the shrimp and the
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And he just did everything else and managed stuff. And I'm just like, yo, that's actually sick dedication though, because I wouldn't have done that. I just cook the food,
Yeah.
I'm not
I'll
eating
keep
it.
going. Like, well, I mean, I am so,
Right?
but it's. I think it follows the same rule of in the commandments where it's like, on the Sabbath you shouldn't do any work, and that also includes you hiring people or people working for you. Just because you're going to go to church and you're not going to break the Sabbath, by you having employees who are working on your behalf or representing you on the Sabbath, you're
You're
still
still
breaking the
working.
Sabbath. So it's the same thing.
Which,
If you have somebody else doing the sin for you, or the thing, it's still on you
bro,
in
I
that
see
sense.
I see a lot of people doing some dumb shit where they talk about, oh y'all Adventist people, so y'all can't work on the Sabbath. So why y'all washing up dishes? Bro, how dumb can you be?
Bro, it's like just
Bro, if
it's
you
it's
think
like a
about
basic
it,
task.
breathing is work. If you think about it, standing is work, wiping your ass is work, washing dishes is work. The man not saying not to be smart. The man said, yo, don't overwork yourself doing shit and run the system and
This is the
just
focus of
chill.
this is what this day is
The
for.
day is just to rest, relax, enjoy yourself, do the things you wanna do, and just be at peace for at least a day, man. That's what he's saying.
Reset. Even scientifically speaking, your body is not supposed to be running for more than 7 days without a break. Literally, the whole Sabbath idea lines up literally with biology.
Yes, and you get whole 2 days because religion is complicated. You get Saturday and Sunday. you know? And people still just like, yo, Saturday's a blessing. All that. But what I'm trying to say is, right? A lot of people would justify saying some things like, oh, you're Christian, so y'all can't do stuff, but y'all do this and that. Or y'all working at clinics. I know a lot of people are saying, hmm, you're not supposed to work, but look at y'all working at hospitals and stuff. I have a problem with people who work for like doctors and nurses who say they're Adventists and they work on the Sabbath. Because it's not like if they're saying, all right, I'm a volunteer to work today, so don't pay me. Or I am going to give my earnings that I've earned to they're not doing nothing like that. So they also using that to justify what we were talking about earlier. Like, you know, it's
To
it's
make
it's
convenient.
convenient. Yeah, it's convenient to them. So they just say, all right, I'm gonna make some money to pay this bill and buy that thing. And because I'm helping people save lives, I don't have to listen to God. It's a loophole.
See, I
I
feel
don't
like
like when people do that.
on that
No.
line, it's more of a it that has to do with the individual. If you're making an effort to work Sabbaths because of that mentality that you just envisioned there, then definitely. If it's your intent to like you're just like, oh, because and you're using it as a loophole because it's healthcare, and you're like, yeah, that gives me a reason. No, but most people I know that are like they're seven Adventists and like that, they definitely opt to have their Sabbaths off. But in the event that they don't, it's not like they don't turn it down because It's not like people don't get sick on Sabbath. It's not like people aren't dying, getting in accidents, and people houses burning down, people getting in fights, or people needing help from the police and all that. So like everybody, once you're essential, definitely you should be available, whatever, whatever. And I get that, and I know God understand that. But if you're using it to exploit, to using it as a loophole, if the reason I want to be a nurse is because I want to work Saturdays without judgment or whatever, then I'm still in it for the wrong reasons, and my heart is going to be judged accordingly with God. So in that sense, I get what you're saying, where you don't like the whole people using it as a loophole, but I'm like, yeah, it has to do with the individual for sure.
For sure. Like I get why some people as nurses and so would work and whatever. Because some of them like to help and some of them don't have a choice really. And it just goes with the, people are sick, whatever. So God even put some people on blast in the Bible. Because this one time he was just chilling, he and his disciple, and he hears some man's over like, just talking. He's not eavesdropping, but they're just talking loud enough so he can hear, right? And the man's like, can you imagine that them people over there attack for them the axe? Like the axe fall in the hole, the big cow fall in this hole, and 10 man on this good Sabbath trying to pull the axe out of the hole. They're working. They're working, right? And then some more man start talking about like, yo, can you believe John over there a struggle with his big bed dragged down the road to take to his house? He working on the Sabbath. And God was just like, bro, I said that story totally wrong, but let me let me correct myself, right? So I think the rich people and them and the people them in the church were making noise at this guy, this sick guy, who was taking a bed to his house, right? And God was just like, the nerve of you people. This man is taking his bed from one place to the other so he can rest and relax. This is all he has. And when you're all out there working the fields, have your men working the fields on his good Sabbath, and then the horse drop down, the cow drop down in the hole. You're sending bare people to come now to go take this ox out the hole so this ox can continue working when I tell you to give everything rest. How dare you all laugh at this man or call this man a fool for working on the Sabbath when you're working harder than him, right? So he's just saying, bro, be smart. You have to do certain things. That's not work, bro. That's just living. There's a
That's literally, there's a
difference.
difference between you're working and the difference between you just living. Like, yeah, people. That's why there was Orthodox Jews
Mm.
agree with the whole Sabbath thing, because the Jews definitely still acknowledge the Sabbath and everything. And for them, they like some extremists. Like literally, when you hear Friday come, the man make sure the food don't cook yesterday. That food not warming up in this house. We're not plugging in nothing. You check everything plug out. The Sabbath is boom, and they take that literally, right? I'm not gonna say they're wrong for being that
Oh no,
extreme.
yeah, you're
You
not
know,
saying
if
that they're
if
wrong.
if
That's their
that's
choice.
you taking that because that is where your heart is, and you think that this is the best way to approach it, and you justify that your heart between God with the best intentions, do you, bro? But like, I don't see the problem. Like, it's like, yeah, and I don't like the story you were telling. I vaguely know it, but I think the idea that we're supposed to get from it, I know the conclusion
Yeah,
was more
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
that
I know I
you're
said
not.
that it's wrong, but the
I
story
don't
was
know
there.
how wrong you said it. I really don't know, because like I haven't heard that story in like a minute, so I'm really not
Right?
sure the facts of it. But I know what I know for sure is that the outcome is like, bro, if the ox fall along in a hole too, it's not like you shouldn't help it. Like you're
Yeah.
really gonna leave the ox in the
You
hole
really go leave the ox in
for
the hole so you
suffer.
can dead rain could come and you drown and dead,
Like
take
literally
it
over the
out.
side. That's wickedness. Like that's not
Hot
logical
sun,
behavior.
thing in a hole, dying. Come on.
This young man need help because it's on the Sabbath. You can say, "Oh, I mean, you can help
I'm
you."
not
You
gonna
know,
help him. That's work.
that's like,
No.
bro, you're
Use
stupid.
logics. Like it's just telling you, take it easy, guys.
Yeah, like
Don't
this is the
overwork.
idea for the Sabbath. This is what I designed this day for. Obviously, I also created something called life, where in life shit happens, and we
Right.
all know that. So I don't expect you to be like, because then that's not Christianity. That's not God's love. You know?
You're just blindly being stupid.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, and bro, people piss me off. I fed up. I'm really fed up.
No, because they really be thinking that being an Adventist is hard and it's tough and it's so strict. I'm just like, nah, son. It's
Nah, son.
pretty fun.
And it's rewarding, because
I
at the
don't
end of it,
I don't even
I
lose
fully
sleep.
know. I fully know at this day is a day that I can say, bro, I gave it to God. You know,
Must be like, so
when I done,
when you all do your laundry and cook and like, bro, we just cook on Friday and we just don't relax the whole of Saturday. Bro, who wants to cook on a Saturday when you could be relaxing all day?
yeah, like we try, and then even
We
if we
do a
cook it on a
laundry on
Saturday,
Sunday or
we ain't
Friday,
trying
one
to do
out
the
of the two.
most. Exactly. We literally the goal of Sabbath is you try and do everything you need to in the week so that you have the Saturday off.
Just
That you
relax.
prepare for the Sabbath, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like in the Bible, God, when He was providing manna for the children of Israel, I think that's when they were out in the desert after they left Egypt.
Egypt, yeah.
My boy literally sent them manna every day, right?
Except
Not
on
every day.
Saturday.
He sent them 6 days a week, right? So from Sunday, the boys sent manna, and the boys said he was the rule for the manna. Mind you, this is just this food falling out the sky that every morning they wake up the food on the
You
ground.
check
So they go collect it,
biscuits
right?
that taste like honey.
Yeah, literally, right? And that was the food God was providing. He said, hey, I'm going to provide this for you 6 days out of the week, right? Every day, y'all get it. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Only take what you need for that day because anything you take extra, if you get greedy with it, it's
To
going to
spoil and get
spoil
maggots.
and get maggots. So you only should take for one day, right? And on the 6th day, which is Friday, when God said, boom, on this day, when I send you a manna, tomorrow is Sabbath. So I'm making sure this manna is going to stay for longer. So when you collect on Friday, collect for Friday and Saturday, so that you don't have to collect on Saturday because I'm not sending on because we all chilling on Saturday. And literally, the manna did not go bad.
And
The,
some
the
hard and whole people say, too much right, boy. I'm just gonna take for today one.
literally, guess
And they
what?
starve,
Hungry belly,
hungry, get
hungry.
yes,
Yeah,
fall up, I
never
beg.
poop can done up, belch, and just what's for dinner? Wind pie. Literally, because who don't hear will feel. And literally, look, God literally said, "Hey, bro, this is what it is." And people, that's another thing I've come to conclude as well. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter who you talk to. It don't matter what you represent, the good you do. None of that really matters because it literally all rolls back to that one thing that God gave us the power of, and it's the power of choice. Because that's literally what it comes down to. Because we can preach all this and tell y'all how much it don't make sense, but y'all still have to choose what y'all going to do with that information.
A lot of people can say, look at them, oh, they just, just talking this shit. I'm not trying to see the value in what we're saying. We're
Literally,
not telling
which
y'all to go do anything or come believe in our religion. I'm just saying it don't make sense in the slightest. How we think, how we
yeah,
operate. Like
like
this
how
is the
we looked at,
insight.
we're looked on as some rare beasts. Like the weirdos, they come with this way and then they think this and and I'm like,
Bro,
bro,
my
nah.
church to me is one of the realest churches out there. Could be wrong. They still have a bunch of shit that goes on in my church that I probably don't want to talk about, right? That probably don't sound Christian like, right? But like at the end of the day, they're open, not everybody, so don't get the wrong idea. The majority
Mm,
of people like that in charge of things, they're open to growth. They're open to
yeah.
what the young kids are like into and to relate with them because they realize, yo, the kids are actually really the future. If they don't come church, it's just old people with their old ways. So they
Like
really
they're
try
dead, no
to
church left.
understand. Yeah, they really try to understand what these kids be doing and try to get them involved and stuff, right? But I remember this one time, a pastor came to our church, right? And he tried to use the Bible to control us in some weird way. He was just like, oh, females can't wear such and such a clothes in church. They have to have their hair like this because this is godly. And the whole church was just like, okay. Everybody leaned back in the chair, not just listening, like, okay, he preaching a message, but he's saying some shit that does not, you know,
Mm.
correspond with what the Bible is saying. He's putting his own words and pushing it like if it's the
Mixing his own
Bible.
agenda and his
You
own, yeah.
check? So now they're listening to him and they make him preach for a good month, let him get his stuff in, and then afterwards they just say, no, had enough. We don't want you here no more. And he's like, y'all can't kick me out.
You thought.
And this man doing his own thing, coming every other Saturday and preaching and doing his own thing. And we just like, bro, all of us read this Bible on a daily. We talk like if, bro, you should hear my church people talk about the Bible. They talk about it so vividly.
It's like
Just
about
like
like
how,
news.
yeah, like, bro, And
Rachel and Neil.
they always put spins on it, making it seem like, yo, just imagine God walked down the road today, and they always do like that's where I get my story style from. Church people,
Church.
they be sick, right? And they really put this pastor man in his place, and this pastor man went to go argue with the mission, right? What you call them, Lee Word?
Yeah, the
And saying that, oh, the
missionist.
church people are so hard and they're so hard to work with. And one day they sent somebody, a representative, to like sit in on a church while he preaching. And then man's like, yo, he talking shit. Right? And you could tell the church people just they're not having it, but they're listening to the word. But you can see in their face that they over this. And I think the second Saturday afterwards, he had to leave, and the a couple pastors came and apologized, and we just had a good time after that. And they gave us a decent pastor afterwards. And every time this man sees us, he pretend like if we all left on good terms.
Might as well. He's a servant, public servant. You know, the man have to keep the smile of Jesus on his face.
But it's
Oh
not
yeah,
like
the
if
boy
they hate
vexed.
him or anything. No, they just
Nah, they just
can't
wasn't.
believe that
He
he
had,
really
yeah.
and he trying to control. And then when he done, he rattles out and all kind of thing. Now all you have to do is peacefully leave, actual transfer. But like he couldn't. I don't know if he
Pride.
succeeded in his last church and doing his thing, but he couldn't have his own way in our church because we were following the book to the T. This man's talking about you have to wear whatever. I'm just like, but the Bible said, "Come as you are. If you don't have no clothes or this is what you have, you wear what you have."
Like
That's what it
literally.
was. Like if this is what you have and this is what you can pay in tithes, that's what you pay. You can't ask for more. What is this? You
Yeah,
pay
like
what you
yeah.
can.
That man keep it literal. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's another thing. Like that's why it's important for you to do your own grounding. You need to know what the books say, because not everybody that gets up in front of you and preach has the truth just because they're preaching.
And not everybody in church righteous.
No, and the thing is, on that point, why is it y'all expect church to be any different from the world? The only thing that the reason that we go to church is because we are all of the world and we're trying to escape that. So, of course, sin is going to be in the church because sin is in us and we are in church, right? The reason we're there is because this sin that we go through on a weekly basis, we're here because, we want to do better, right? And we are going to fall short. David falls short. We went through that, right? All these great people that did great things and are going to be rewarded for the great things they did by God. They all still sin. They all still did this. They all still did that. They all preach one thing and maybe on the side did the opposite of what they were preaching. What do you call that? Hypocrisy, right? What did that stop? What did that end? And then it's with that whole view too that we look at people in church who sin and we're like, oh, look at that person. Look how they think they're so good and blah 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 blah. But when they
All
go
up
home,
in
they're doing
church,
that.
but when
And then
exactly.
here's what follows. Oh, because that person is at church, I don't want to go to church anymore because church is full of hypocrites.
What that person have to do with you?
Bro, what does that have to do with, oh, I don't want to be in a place where I feel judged? Why are you caring about what you like? Yeah, I get you don't.
You're not there
Obviously,
for the people. You're there for your
yes.
growth, and
Like, it's like clearly you didn't really want to be here in the first place because if that is what you let hold you back, then clearly you don't
perhaps it's
see the
messed up, man.
benefit or you don't see the benefit in going through that. If people around you are hypocrites, even better. Because guess what? Hypocrites are the best people to learn from. And that's something I stick with. Hypocrites are the best people in this world to learn from. That's an exclusive remark from me because literally, a hypocrite is a person who preaches one thing and then does what they said not to do,
Bro,
right?
I know.
Isn't that a walking example? If this person I was talking about, oh, you shouldn't have sex out of marriage, and them they ought to have sex out of marriage, and then go and then breed for somebody and have a whole bunch of problems after they were the same ones preaching that. Literally, they were the message and the example. What more you want? That's a
Bro.
that's a whole experience right there walking in front of you.
It's like,
And you
ooh,
look at that, I'm like,
the Bible was right.
bro. Literally, bro. That's bro. And it's just a way. Like, what is wrong with our attitudes as people? Why is it that is enough to literally? We didn't want God that bad. We didn't want the message that
It
bad.
was just we're just trying to put on a facade to fool
It was a
ourselves and
facade. You're
people.
not fooling nobody. It's like, yes, you come with excuse. Literally, there should be no excuse for you wanting better.
Bro, and I know some people who think that people can change. Like, yeah, this man used to cuss and this man used to do all this kind of thing, and he just was a menace. And then this man found Jesus now, and then say, "Wow, I didn't know this was out there." And he's like, "This makes sense." Ooh, and then he convert.
Mhm.
You know, people still holding him to all this. Me can't
Hold
listen
him
to
to
he
all
preach,
this
man.
shit.
He used to do
Literally.
this, that. You hear that?
Back in the day,
Used
he
to.
do for my auntie this, and
Why he
she do
can't
this.
change
Exactly. Literally, you know, the main thing that makes us human is our ability to adapt and to change.
and grow
If
from
there
all
was
that, you
no
know?
change, if it wasn't possible for humans, we would still be living in caves. We would still be primitive beings.
There's one thing though for sure that I hate, and I use hate loosely about Adventist people, is when they push their religion on people. Cause I
In a
tried,
way that doesn't leave room for what they think. It's
yeah,
like a close, like, nope, this is the
I'm
fact, and
shoving
I'm
it
leaving
down
this
your
fact box.
throat
Yeah.
and take it. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. No, ask no questions. No, just understand this is the way. They themselves don't even know the way, but they're pushing it down your throat and expecting you to just wholeheartedly, blindly just follow.
Just pop up and be like, yeah.
Because there was a point in time when I was like, yo, go church, go church, go church. And I'm just like, I understand the importance of church and why you want to whatever. But you have to, at this point, I'm at an age where you have to at least let me decide or want to come to
Yes.
church.
I'm
Because
not
if you
forced to go
keep
to church.
pushing me at this age when I'm trying to figure things out, you're only gonna push me away.
You're going to poison the whole idea of
Everything
church to
that
me.
you worked up to, you're just gonna just make it ill on my tongue. No, I have, you know,
Mhm.
and I tell him, hey, I get it, your rules, your house, but let me figure it out.
Let me develop that love. Let me develop that friendship with God. Let
Because
me create that
I was
relationship.
born
You know?
into the Christianity, right? In Christianity, that religion, everything I know was there.
Yeah.
They found God on them by themselves, on their own.
With their own
They experienced
experiences.
the world
Yeah.
and they came to a conclusion and they said,
This is it. Yep.
I can't have that experience because I was born in church.
And I always find that those people are the strongest ones. The
Strongest
people who
ones, the
had the
ones who
time to
had the time to figure out the
boom, boom,
world,
boom, boom,
see
boom.
it,
Yeah.
gain the experience, and then find God on their own. And I feel
Yeah.
like those people, I'm not gonna say everybody who's born in church don't have that conviction, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the ones who find them outside, they're on a different game, they're on a different motive. Their faith be built different. Me,
Like that thing your dad said too the other day when you brought up the whole thing about traveling. But you can finish your point and then you can hop on that.
yeah. So I'm just like, you can't push your religion on somebody. So they had this one guy at Adventist. He used to wear like I don't know if I ever know him. I don't know his name, but he used to keep his beard long and his sideburns curly, and he used to always wear this black suit and a hat. So I was like, yo, is this man a Muslim or something?
Or he Jewish.
Or Jewish or something?
Yeah.
And he said he just walk around and have regular conversation with Rasta people and Muslims and Jewish folks and stuff. And they never looked at him saying he's a Christian, he's preaching God. They accepted him based on how he looked, and he have them conversations with them, and he's slowly able to, just sneak in God here and God there, and they're like, oh. And now they unintentionally was open to a new possibility, a new world, like, oh, that's all, and then they realized, wait, you're Seventh Adventist? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't know, you cool, man. And he didn't push it on them. He listened, they approach, he talked, and it was just a casual conversation. And because he's such in love with the gospel, the whole,
it shines through him.
yeah, you can see that, yo, this is a different man, and he just slip it in there, and you just take it in and just like, I like what he's saying. And he reached so many people that way instead of the person who be like, oh, you eat pork? Don't eat pork because God say. No, I hear you. God say, and you know what else? Because I see the other day, and God don't like that. Because you go hell. Who are you, man? Let me just don't be calling on my sins. Don't be judging me. Don't be forcing me. Yeah, bro. That same pastor that the church didn't like. This one time, right? As a cousin of mine, she had a kid outside of marriage. I'm not calling no names, right? She had a kid outside of marriage, and she said she was literally was planning to get married and everything, but guess the Pitney happened before the marriage. all right,
Yeah.
because she was engaged and stuff to this person, right? And yeah, pastor find out, and she didn't go to church for like a while because I don't know if she just was dodging the church people or she just had other things to do and she wasn't in the mood, right? The pastor find out, and this man saw her in traffic one day. Say, "Sister, I know I didn't see you in church the other day, but what's that word that people use when you get read out of church? It's not excommunication. That's
I
serious
don't.
with the
Yeah, I just know it was reading. I was a church. I don't know.
yeah. So basically, he telling her, yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to read you out of church because of and I when my cousin told me that story, I was like, in traffic. You know how wild and embarrassing I have to. That's out of pocket. He took her business that nobody even know how he knows.
Literally, because she never tell you.
Brought it to traffic in public and told her she made a mistake and you can't do certain things in church and we have to read you out. And I think that was the church last straw.
Yeah. Man said, "Nope, got to go."
Yeah, this is no. This man could have go to her house, talk to her family, found a discussion, wait until she come to church and have a little talk afterwards or before or something. This man decided it was God's will for him to do it in that moment. Tell me, what was he hoping to gain? I was never gonna see this girl again, so now that I have the opportunity, I'll have to tell her. Was he trying to hurt her, make her feel a type of way? What was the motive? That wasn't the move. You know?
You know, it's one of those things where, as people too, we have strengths and weaknesses, right? And not just because you feel like you want to serve means you have to be a pastor. Because being a pastor, it requires a lot of other skills that are more important than just you wanting to do something, right? And I think that's important to take with us in life as well, because everybody's not everything is for everybody. You know? And in his situation, I can't tell you what he was thinking or what he wanted to come out of it. But all I know is that this man, he clearly did it in a way where he thought nothing of it, right? Because that's the only thing I can see. Yeah, him just being oblivious to the fact that this is not called, like this is out of pocket, right? And I realized throughout life, there's literally people who live life through their eyes and their eyes only. So because something makes sense to them means it must make sense for everybody else. Because something works this way for me, it should work that way for everybody else too. Like they have like a universal law principle to life
Mhm.
where everything that is for them is for everybody else. And if you're not taking into consideration that everybody's literally different in every single way, yes, there's similarities between us all, the ways we work in society, all that stuff, but you can't work with people like that and expect it to work because that's how it would work on you. You know, he would have probably been okay with you pulling up in traffic and yelling at him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, thanks for telling me, boss." You know, and move on. Maybe that's probably him. He would have been totally fine with that, and that's why he just did that. So I think he's just like a shitty like people person
Yeah,
in
it
that
has
sense.
to
I
be,
think
dog.
it
It
has to
has
be
to
that
be.
because nah. He's just ignorant and not ignorant in the sense that he's just purposely out here trying to just close everything else and just say this is what's right and I'm gonna stick to it regardless as to what anybody else think. I think he's just so into like so proud in himself, or he's just so confident in what he's accomplished as his own that whatever he thinks he really thinks it's fact at this point, based off of experience, you know. But that sound like uh, that sound like fighting.
Nah, for real. But you
Like,
remember that thing you wanted to say?
oh yeah, so yeah, no, so like yeah, people who end up finding God through their life, you know, doing whatever they walked the road they walked, and they ended up at the end, and the end was with Jesus. They have this different thing about them that nobody can take away from them. Like Timon was telling me the other day about his dad, and he basically mentioned that, you know, wants to travel, Timon wants to do this and this and that and whatever. And he was basically saying that he had a conversation with his dad once upon a time. And the conversation was in like to him traveling, you know, saying, yeah, you know, we can travel, blah, blah. And I guess I could just let you tell a story from here because you experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, apparently my dad don't like me. Cause okay, so before I came to Canada, um, I was talking to my dad and stuff, and we were trying to get our visas, my mom and my dad's visas sorted out. So when I graduated from school, cause clearly they knew I was gonna get graduated before me. I was like, they had faith in my knowledge, and I was just like, we'll see, right? So he was just like, it's okay, you don't have to run about and do all this thing to get this visa, because to be honest, I don't really see myself going anywhere, right? So I was just like, interesting. And then mommy was just like, nah, we gonna get our tickets and get a thing sorted out and then go and see his graduation. And he's like, yeah, but I already seen his graduation here. And I was like, yeah, because in my head, I'm just like, I don't want them to go out of their way to come to Canada to see my graduation and then spend some time and then come back. Because in my head, I'm just like, the money could have been used for anything else. I don't even myself don't want to go to the graduation. I already graduated from college once. It's overrated, right?
Yeah.
And me and my dad was basically on the same like wavelength. We just like, it's a hassle, like why, right? But then he was just like, yeah, I don't need to travel, man. And I kind of was sitting like, but yeah, afterwards, and so, we should travel the world and see things because the world is too big for us to really just stay at one place, right? And I know my dad, when he grew up, he used to travel and go to Canada and New York and back and forth and stuff and all of. So he did quite enough traveling in his time, right? He just didn't go all over the Western Hemisphere and stuff like that. That's where I want to go and explore. So while we having this conversation now, my dad's just like, nah, I don't need to see the things of this world because I have a bigger vision. Cause when I go to heaven, I'm gonna see worlds, different worlds. But when he said it to me, it kind of hit me because I'm just like, bro, your faith that you're going to heaven, the fact that whatever is of this world can't even compare to what you
Bro,
will see.
he's
Like
not
he
even
knows.
interested.
He knows because sometimes so we be watching Animal Planet and Sun and Shine and we be marveling at some of the things that we see on TV. We're just like, wow, look at these creatures. And he's saying, your God is amazing. I'm just like, bro, he has to be, right? So we literally, the two of us geeking out on Animal Planet, watching all these things and thinking how sick this is, right?
Yeah.
And we thinking, yo, we have to see some of these places. And then this man's just like, yo, despite all them sick things out here, I don't want to see it. I guess I'm hyper, like way hyper than that. I'm just like, bro, who is you? Like, I literally, when he said it, I had to pause. Because I'm just like, who does that? Who thinks
Man
this?
literally said, I don't need to see the things in this world now. I've seen enough. I'm content with what I've seen so far. But even though I have the ability to see more on Earth, I don't need that right now. I can just wait till I die. And when I get to heaven, I can go see whatever the heck I want to see. Man is not even man is banking on the fact that when he gets to heaven, he will like he's making decisions today for his future in heaven. Bro,
That's some advanced
there's
planning, dog.
that's not even but like what does it take? Like you have to know for sure, right?
Bro, that's
You
some
cannot
willpower.
tell me
You
there's
have to.
nobody can tell me that he has any doubt in his mind that he's not going to heaven. Or
And
that there is a heaven, you know?
he living his life to
With
make
one
sure he
goal.
meet those criteria so he can get to that place. And
Literally, that's on
it's
his
not like if
agenda.
it's not like if it's blind knowledge. It's blind faith. No, there is faith, and he does his research and he questions. And the things that he don't know, he just don't have the answers, or anybody have the answers. You just have to have faith in that and wait until the information reveals itself,
Mhm.
because it will. Because if you think about it, back in the Bible days when God was just like sending these parables saying, "Oh, yo, this is the statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had in his dream. This
Mhm.
is blah 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 of that regime in this century," and it came down to the feet of clay and steel, and that's the world that we live in today, the last period. And they're saying the world will never be under one dictatorship ever again because clay and steel can mix. So you gotta have a weak nation, strong nation.
Yeah.
Nobody could understand that who was living in the head. They couldn't understand that parable. But as it came down, people was like, oh my goodness,
I see what's
that one
happening.
just happened. We're in this section now. So I guess that's why Adventists be getting hyped, because they're like, yo, we in the end times. We at the
Yeah,
feet.
they see because they follow in the thing like that. Yeah, and then it's just but all that was to say, right? The purpose of that story I want someone to bring it up is literally someone's dad was not always in the church. Someone's dad lived his life the way he lived it, and he came to a point where this was what the decision he made. He made the decision to follow God, right? In that way. And it wasn't because someone pushed it on him. It wasn't because he I don't know if he was in a life and death situation. He said, okay, maybe if I give my life to God, he'll maybe give me a second chance. I don't think it was anything. I think he accepted God willingly with the whole heart, and his life before Christ is what helped his life with Christ. You know, because he had all those parallels to draw from and everything. And then at the end of it, it's people like him. I'm like not to like again, not to say that people who are born into this thing, they don't have the same connection and conviction and all that stuff. But it's like things like that you look and you're just like, bro, that is what I want. I
Yeah, I
want to
want to
have that
find
type of
that
connection
faith on my
where
own.
there are no questions asked. I know for sure because honestly, as much as I know, as much as I think about, I really have a lot of doubts in certain things because I don't have the answer, right? And as human beings, we literally live our lives searching for answers. That's what we want. We always want to know something. And then when we get to know that thing, we want to know how to achieve it, right? So
And how
it's
it
that's another
works.
thing we want to know, how it works and whatever. And then when it comes to real to not reality, to religion and stuff like that, there's a lot that we can't get real answers to.
And
And then
people
we're
just say have
forced to let
faith,
our
imagination.
imagination, you know, craft these things that we're trying to, make sense of, trying to bring it into the terms that we can comprehend, right? And it's like, yeah, I have my doubts. I have my like, for example, one thing I doubt a lot, for example, is the story of Job, right? Basically, Job was a man of God, and he was a wealthy man. He had everything, right? And Satan pulled up on God one day and was like, "Yo, this your boy, Job?" And God was like, "Yeah, that's my boy. Day one, we've been riding. We've been out here, right?" And Satan was like, "How loyal you think he really is to you?" And God was like, he's as loyal comes." And Satan was like, "All right, well, I bet you I can make this guy fold." And God was like, "I bet you can't." And basically, that's how it went. Satan went down, and the boy just caused. Basically, the rule was you can do anything to him except take his life, right? And my boy went down, and my boy took everything from him. Man, kill off all his children, lost all his livestock, all his riches, all his wealth, everything. God. It came to the last straw where it was just him and his wife left, and his wife literally turned to him and said, "Why don't you just curse God and die?" And in that moment, Job, despite everything, Job went through and was like, "Nah, how could I ever, as much as I've lost, I still have so much to gain because of God, right?" And, he proved himself real loyal to God, right? And I look at that and I'm like, okay, so that's the point I have to get to, right? I'm confident that Timon's dad is pretty close to that point, right? But I don't see myself ever getting close to that because I don't see myself. I wouldn't be okay with losing any of the things that. Okay, maybe like maybe I could lose my property and my whatever, but then I feel like I would have buckled and crashed at the family
Bro,
part. Man
I'm
lost his kids.
cussing.
Like I'm
I'm
not like
cussing.
because in my head, I'm like, I really serve you and you really let this happen to me, boss. You know? And that's the human in me that wants to focus on the anger. It's like I know I'm gonna feel the certain way and my emotions are gonna come and guide me in this way. And I'm gonna end up reacting in a way that, yeah, in that situation, if you put me, Evron Williams, in that situation, I would definitely cuss God and probably die. Because I know I'm not I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I don't think I'm at that point to be able to do that, right? And I doubt, like, and then just the human in me, because I see that I'm like, okay, but like, God, that's kind of messed up. Like, if you really loved me, like, why would you do that to me? And I know whenever we go through things as humans too, it's easy to take that approach. When my grandmother fell and broke her leg, right? Long story short, due to negligence and a bunch of stuff at the hospital, her simple broken leg, she died from it, right? And I look at that and I'm like, bro, how could this happen? This was like the greatest woman. This is the woman who gave all of this, and just for her to go out this way, like God can't care about her, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And that's the stance I want to take out of a place of anger and hurt. And given Job in that situation, if all I lost is my grandmother, who, yes, she was all these things, but I mean, she lived a good life, all these things. She went peacefully in a sense, but like as all the good adds up, it's still not enough. And I feel like I want to be at the point where, despite all the wrong, I can look back and be like, you know what? It's fine because I know what is coming is gonna be better than what I have now. Like I find it hard to take that stance, and I feel like without that stance, we can't really, or we won't truly be like ready, to move on to, like, when God comes and stuff like that. And yeah, just the human in me just has me real split up about that because I'm like, yeah, ratings to Job, he's strong for real. He really did that. I look up to him. I'm like, yo, I want to be like Job. But then I'm like, bro, God, why you had to let that happen to him,
Check what the
And that
kids or
just
the wife did. They didn't have
literally,
enough
bro,
faith or conviction.
you
Like,
check. I'm like, in my head, literally, it's like two ways to look at it. It's like, yeah, despite this one, it's like, yeah, Job is the G because he actually held true. And the second one is, yo, God has a messed up way of proving a point,
you
you know?
check.
And I'm like,
Satan say,
bro,
hey, let me torture your disciple, your faithful disciple. Because he only love you because you gave him all these
he gave him
things.
all these things, yeah.
And then God's like, all right, do what you want with him, just don't kill him. And the devil's just like, say less.
Man went to work.
And the man took everything: crops, animals, land, house, health, kids, wife. And I'm just
Just like
like,
that. Boom, boom, boom.
was everybody like, suppose the man decide, let me just kill a nation around him? Would that be okay?
I
Like,
mean,
how far
that's
was
the
that?
thing.
Was the hedge, like, clearly the hedge of protection was on his life around him, but was it,
Yeah.
how far could the devil have gone with it? Was it only bound to his family where the torture
Right.
could happen? And why wasn't his kids protected, his family protected? Like, yeah, maybe he got a new kid, a new wife, and
He
some new
got new
kids.
guys, new family. He got everything back tenfold. Like everything he had before. If he was a millionaire when he died, is like he came back with billions. You know.
So in my head, I'm just like, but like those kids though, like,
But
are
yeah,
they,
it doesn't
did
replace
they
them.
did
The
they
human part of
die?
me. Yeah,
Did
the
they
human
die
part of
in
me. Yeah.
faith and then they went to, they just
Like
did
what?
there and, like, what questions? But
Yeah,
we don't have
yeah.
those kind of answers because there was a story and a message, and
hmm
some people take the wrong message.
Yeah, you have two messages, and you know the God that we serve, and it depends on how you view him. I view him as a God of love,
And
regardless as to
mercy.
what he does, and mercy, definitely. Even if things don't go my way, I prayed like hell for my grandmother to be fine, literally, and she still died. I could have literally took that position and be like, God don't care about me, right? But then when you think about all the good that he's done before that, everybody literally has to go. I just wasn't ready for her to go. That's literally all it was, right? And it's like we take everything else and just dash it away because of our personal feelings, the way we take to it as, and that is part of being human. And that is where God is even saying, bro, I'm still here for you. I'm never leaving you. No matter how hard it gets for you, I'm literally still here. And just because our will wasn't God's will, we use that as hate and ammunition against him and against others. I mean, and poisoning others against him too. And I'm like, you know, it's like, how will we really be judged in the end? That's how I know, because I took that stance in the end doesn't mean I didn't love God. It
Mm.
just means the pain was too much for me to bear in that sense. I just wasn't strong enough at that given time. So how is God going to look at that? Is he going to look at, nah, you failed me, so because I know he ain't gonna do that. He ain't no hard cold, he's really out here just for our hearts.
That test, right? Because God always said, like, God doesn't give you anything that he knows that he can't bear
Yeah.
or overcome. So
hmm
it's either your choice and decisions that make you overcome it or not, because you
Yeah.
have the strength to.
You had the strength.
I
It's
used to
all,
I used to always use that to, like, justify why certain things happen, because I'm just like, maybe God sent this man this test that caused him to die, but he died in Christ or died in the
Mhm.
faith, right? Knowing that if he probably lived longer than this moment, he'd
He
have
would mess up
probably
later.
mess up later and then cause more people to lose the
Yeah,
faith, or
you know.
it's a domino effect for the wrong reasons. And he's like, this is, but I'm just like, God wouldn't be that one or maniacal to be like, all right, this is him at his best. This is him doing my work the right way. And if he goes on anymore after this point, he's just gonna undo all the hard work that me and you did. I don't
hmm
think God is just gonna take that, because then, in a sense, he's not giving you a choice. He's
Yeah.
just using you as pawns for his advancement of his, And I don't think
Yeah.
God is that maniacal. So
No.
I had to take that thought on my head and just be like, yo, life. Somebody made a choice. I made a choice. Things happen, And it's all the time. It's not our choice. Some people could genuinely make a mistake
Yep.
that leads or cause to this thing. And you want me
Literally.
to? I think somewhere in the Bible too, it was saying that God was saying, if you think it, you committed the crime or the sin. So you don't have to physically do it, but if your mind is in a place, it's like if I say I'm gonna murder this person, or just kick this person for no good reasons, just commit a sin, right? I plan it out, premeditated. I committed that murder because now I'm committed to doing the thing, the act. I've committed the sin even before I done it, right?
Mhm.
So it had me thinking back to a story. It had me thinking back to a story where God caused the man to sin in a sense. Because God said, hey, I want you I want you to go up to this hill and I want you to sacrifice your son.
Mhm.
And this man went up there contemplating everything. And he went up there to kill his son. The man committed a sin, a murder, to sacrifice for God. So in my head, I'm like, did God instigate this murder? Did God cause him to sin just to make sure that he was going to follow his rules? And then just before he plunged the knife in the man's throat, no, an angel came down and stopped him and said, hey, good job. But there's a lamb over there that you can sacrifice instead. This man had to go through trauma.
Mhm.
His son
And
had to
hella
watch
drama
that
too.
trauma just so God can say, you're a real one. And in my head, I'm just like, I don't know how to really say, God, I forgive you for that. But it had me thinking, why? But there was something else that I was totally missing. I was looking at it from one way, but God just letting
Mhm.
this man know that, hey, yes, you had that much faith in me. Now I'm going to reward you.
Yep. Yep. You've passed the test. You've shown
God stopped
that
him
you're
from
more than
committing.
capable.
God stopped it because God never push you too far, dog. God is
Mhm.
not going to tell you to sin, but He will push you to the limits and still give you that choice. You could say, "Yo, I'm not doing it," and God could still give you a reward, saying, "Well, you're smart. You looked at it that way, and you weren't gonna kill your son for no good
It's
reason."
all about the heart. It's not about the. It's about our intent.
You think this? You think that man didn't love his son? I love the son.
It's like, and then and then we never looking at this way. Isaac looking at this man like he gonna kill him, but now when he realized when he gets a little older that this man has so much faith in God that he was willing to give me up, and I know how much he loves me.
Bro, his wife was trying to have a
Literally,
child. She couldn't
and the
even
boy
give him a son,
finally gets one.
and she said, "You know what? Take my handmaiden." And the man had
Yeah,
to sleep with the handmaid so he can get his son. And God's like, "Yo, I told you I was gonna give you a son, dog. Just chill." And
and you
then
don't.
she finally gave him a son, and then God said, "Yeah, kill him." And he was like, "Bro, my wife for years been trying to have a son. She finally has one, and God's telling me to kill him. God gave me this son. I guess he could take it away and give me another." And the boy listened to what God said. A lot of people won't even. They would say, "All right, God, I'm not
No, done
fucking."
right there.
You
They was
know,
like, yeah, that's my son. And guess what? The son could have died anyways.
yeah, could have get some illness and then died anyways. And he's just like, "Whoa."
Hmm.
The blessing could have been his son lived past the moment of like he could have been
Yeah,
dead 2 years ago, but now he's living until he's like 60.
like it,
We
it
don't
just has
know,
it goes.
but
We don't know. We really don't know.
it could have gone either way. We just have to have faith sometimes.
But then Isaac, but his son literally came and was such a great like leader and everything. And I feel like the example his dad sets in that moment that live with him forever because he's not
Forever.
looking at it as his dad really didn't care about him that much that he was willing to. It was like this man really believed in the God that we serve that much because I wouldn't be able to do that. And I feel like he just just made it what it was and used that he used it proactively. Why do we always take whatever we're faced with and pull the negative aspect from it? Hmm? Why is the lessons we always learn have to be on the negative side of the spectrum? Why don't we strive to analyze things more from the positive view? you know like, why is that our go-to? Why it's our go-to? Because sin and sin alone corrupts and literally just guides us to where we are. And then we end up in a place where we're just arguing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It comes to one where I'm trying to be positive and you're just seeing the negative, or I'm trying to push this agenda and it's just becoming harder and harder to make things out to people. Like, at this point, there's certain people that I cannot justify the things that have happened under the name of Christianity to. I don't see the point. I don't see how I can ever convince this person over given the experience that they had. So like, what's the point, right? And that's just what it is. But we just can't give up. And I'm not saying I'm a missionary out here in these streets all over, but my friends know that whenever there's this conversations, whenever there's stuff and we're sharing beliefs and thoughts and ideology and stuff like that, I stick to what I know, and I stick to what I believe, and I try and I live my life with the positivity on all, whatever story or conclusion I took from life or from the Bible, whatever. I take it and I just try and live on the positive side of the line. You know, I don't hate God for taking my grandma. I hate the fact that she's gone. But
Mm.
guess what? I just have to live with that because that's literally a part of life, right? I could choose, and I take that and I just focus on all the good she left me, all the good times we had, all the lessons she taught me. If I'm going to make a decision tomorrow, I literally think, yo, if I asked her for advice in the situation, what would she say? You know, stuff like that. You take all the positive and go from it. But people be taking on the negative. Oh, I hate God, don't want to see nothing with church and God, or to anger. And I'm like, literally, that's the reason God died for us, to remove that anger or to give us a way out. It's like you don't have to be angry. You don't have to stay hurt. You know, boom, boom, boom. I've provided this wave out for you and all that. So it's like, bro, the world is just hard. The world is tough, and we just living in it, and
Amen.
we just gotta stick to what we
Preach
know,
it,
and just,
brother.
bro, we just gotta share that, just whatever it is, man. Just stay positive, share that information, and always just take everything with a grain of salt and focus on the positive side of things. Literally, there's too much negativity for us to just be programmed to focus on negativity alone.
Guys, you
Yeah,
heard
go
it from Reverend Ron, and he couldn't have said it better, man.
Jeez, I like Reverend Ron in the cut.
Hey,
Yeah.
nah, but like for sure, man. This was a good discussion today, man. We've
Yeah,
been all over the place, but like I hope you guys like took something from it, viewed
for
life a
sure.
little differently, see things how we see things,
Yeah, with
and just
open eyes,
open
man.
eyes, man. Don't take everything too serious. Like,
Nothing needs to be serious. As serious as y'all be taking stuff.
yeah, and
And rest.
rest.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's just us, me and Timon. Like we said, we grew up in this, so that's why if you think we know a lot, we're not claiming to know a lot. We're claiming to just know what we're talking about or have
Yeah,
an idea.
have an
We
idea.
ain't
This is our
professionals.
other opinions of how we really view things,
Yeah,
and it's crazy because like when I realized how everyone was thinking about certain things, I was just like, bro, that's how I see things too. All right, and then I'm
Mm,
just like, how come nobody else be seeing shit like this? Like,
yeah. How, like, it's still like a foreign concept.
yeah, I'm
But yeah,
as far as some people, I'm just like, we can't be the only enigmas out here, you
nah.
know?
So definitely, I know there's lots of y'all out there. And I know lots of y'all who are listeners, y'all are pretty chill people. Those I know personally. So kudos to y'all. Thanks for listening again. And anything else to say, Timon?
Bye.
All right, guys. So peace, guys. Y'all have a good week. Hope this podcast finds you well. And we're looking forward to provide more content for you as we go along. So you
Oh,
guys
for
have a good
sure.
one.
Bye.
Later.